Greetings, everyone. This is the Hipster Snek, joined today by my good friends Ditaku and Noodle.
Hi guys.
And today, we return to OmOneko. Now,
What? I thought we were going to be playing Oh No Waitress. I've been lied to. I'm leaving. Bye guys.
yeah, there is no waitress route and there is no Veronica route. The devs have disabused us of that notion. And they were kind enough to answer a few questions I had, especially concerning the scoring system in the game. And I probably talked about this in a previous video, but I've slept since then, so let me give you the rundown of how this works. During Chapter 1, all of your decisions matter. Even ones that at a glance look like they shouldn't. And basically what happened is in our first run, we got a ton of points for Claudia and Shimi. And so when we made the decision to sit with Shimi, we went on Shimi's path. When we went on anyone but Shimi's path, we ended up on Claudia's path. I thought that moment where you pick the Neko manually would be the ultimate deciding factor in whose route you end up on. That is not how the game works, and there's even a bad ending where you can end up going back to Mia. And I'm not going to do that because that's dumb, and Noodles has done enough dumb stuff in this game, and we don't want to get into that. So instead, we are going to
Clearly the best ending is the waitress ending.
There is no waitress ending, Noodle. I'm
waiting for waitress ending DLC.
We'll talk to the game devs about it. Maybe they'd be keen. It's like, make like a $1 DLC, and I guarantee you it'd sell like hotcakes after this. So, what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna start a fresh game. So I don't think any save I have will get us like a shortcut to Pepper's path. But I promised I was going to show all three cat girls' paths, and I'm going to abide by that promise. I will be honest, Pepper is my least favorite, but even with that in mind, I like Pepper. She is a fun character. Just Claudia is my waifu, and if left to me, I would Claudia out and, never look back. And Ditaku very much favored Shimi, which is part of the reason we ended up on her path in the first place. But I am going to skip recurring stuff that we've seen before and hold the control key
Helicopter
until...
Man thinks Pepper is best girl.
Understandable.
Noodle does not agree with Helicopter Man, but Helicopter Man thinks that Pepper is the only one that truly understands Helicopter Man.
Helicopter Man, I believe, is a little bit biased due to, excuse me, the fact that Pepper is the one reading Helicopter Man's, magnum opus.
Wherein,
that just shows that Pepper has true taste, unlike the other Nekos, who do not have good taste in literature.
We don't know what books Claudia likes to read. So...
Oh, they mentioned that she likes nature.
Yeah, she likes nature
documentaries,
but we don't know if she reads that or if she just watches it on TV. So apparently, even this prompt apparently adds points to one Neko or another. And the way they explained it, and for anyone who's curious as to what's going on under the hood, your decisions will add points to certain pools. There are no decisions that remove points from any pool. It is what it is. And if you load into a particular story path, the game will just load you as if that was the path that you were assigned on a regardless basis. So there are ways to finagle it a little bit. But I'm still going to take pretty much the most linear way of getting there. And so we're going to basically pick a lot of the options that we didn't and start skipping through bits of repeated dialogue where the stories are unified. We chose to deal with it, so we're going to try to collect our thoughts. We're going to try to think more like Pepper in this run. The house suddenly feels too small, the air too thin. For context, this is when Pepper first shows up and Goro explains that he's joining the army, so we're still very, very early on. It takes effort to slow my breathing. I stare at the back fence, my thoughts far away, mired down in the marshy woods behind my house. For a very long time, I've gone out of my way to avoid drama and things that complicate my life. I'm not very good at dealing with change. Well, broadly speaking, most people aren't. The human brain really just isn't really built with change in mind, which is interesting when you consider that the only thing that is constant in life is constant change. After this morning with Mia and this afternoon with Goro, I'm tempted to climb into bed for the rest of the week, but even just for the rest of the day is unrealistic. As I get dinner going, Claudia tentatively peeks out from their sunroom. Not seeing Pep-per, she comes in and falls into her routine, helping by bringing me things when I ask for them and setting the table. My main ingredient in tonight's dinner is a resigned sigh. Unable to motivate myself beyond noodles with sauce, the modest meal comes together quickly. Pep-per doesn't join us. She remains brooding, bristled. Rooted to the foyer floor like a grumpy thorn bush, only breaking her silence with an occasional sullen thump of her tail. Claudia ignores her. Pep-per ignores everything. This will be your room, Pep-per. Let's see, are we at a repeat? After dinner, Pep-per let me lead her to what will be her new room, my old bedroom. She settled in, which is to say, not at all. The only thing that changed was the spot in the house where she sat. I don't think she slept much. Thinking about it, Pep-per was just unceremoniously dumped into a new home that wasn't expecting her. Add to that all the new sounds and smells, it's no wonder she didn't sleep. I'm sure in Goro's mind this would seem like an adventurous way of finding Pep-per a new home, but really it was a dick move on his part. If he just asked, of course I would have said, "Hell no, absolutely no way, nobody has 2 Nekos." Most people don't even have 1. Damn it, Goro. That bit felt pretty familiar, so apparently only that minor bit of dialogue was different. You got the Neko dance scene. Pep-per messing with the fridge. This bit's all pretty linear. I gotta say, like, everyone in this game is exceptionally well written. Everyone is just a really fun, engaging character, and the devs clearly knew what they were doing to make the characters fun and engaging characters. I will say, I like everyone here kind of has their favorites. Noodle has, Waitress. Ditaku has Shimi, and I have Claudia. And you know what? Go down to the comments section while I'm skimming, and let us know who's your favorite character, and what's your rationale. This is when she's channel surfing. Kitties are being, a little hostile. And then when the kitties gang up on Noodles.
Who hasn't even been christened Noodles yet.
Yeah, he has not gotten that nickname. Oh, there's a Noodle waifu.
Best girl.
Hey, it's a 1 prompt. I was wondering if others would show up after we played through again, but apparently the answer is no. I don't know if the dev specifically told me that, but okay. So, I'm gonna drop a save here in the event I need to backtrack for any reason. Monster in the dark. So last time we elected to call the cops. So if we're gonna think like Pep-per, what would Pep-per do in this situation?
Well, I can't see what the options are because you're streaming in like 240.
Oh,
I cannot read what they are.
Okay, great. Discord's being less help than usual. So our options are wait here, which seems like the least peppery option.
That seems like the least Pep-per option.
There's sneak out, watch from a distance. The option we did last time was call the cops. Or the last option is go help the Nekos.
I think either the wait or the sneak out or
Go help.
either options 2 or 4 would be
Okay.
the most pepper.
Those do seem like the more peppery options. Yes.
Yes, yes. As I recall, the the developers basically suggested that we think like Pepper, and so I
Yeah.
think that's probably the correct thing to do.
I think maybe sneak out, that does seem like a pretty pepper thing.
Yeah, sneaking out, watching from a distance, and being privy to the situation feels very Pepper-esque. It's eerily quiet. The deafening silence is a foe that feeds my worry, fuels my anxiety. Hashtag relatable. I'm feeling left out, unimportant, and helpless to do anything about it, which is making me really aggravated. Admittedly, these feelings are petty and out of tune with the situation. I growl in frustration. I'm not in control of the situation, and I have no idea what I should be doing. This is probably how Pepper has felt all week. Crap.
Ha! I think that's indication that we have been...
Given Pepper points, yes.
Yes.
Thought alone makes my stomach try to digest itself. The truth is that I never would have chosen to have Pepper living here, but that's not her fault. And at least she's started to find her place. I rub my eyes and force myself to focus. There are more important things to consider at the moment, like that thing in the bushes, and Pepper and Claudia outside with it. Illogical emotions attempt to crowd out rational thought, but reminding myself that freaking out is not a strategy helps me to wrestle down the panic and act calm. They're Nekos, and there's 2 of them. They can handle a rat, even a giant one, can't they? Think! I need a plan! I actually feel heat radiating inside my head, as if my thoughts were roasting inside an oven. Turning them into raw ideas into some half-baked plan is better than no plan at all. Truth is, I really don't want to go outside. A giant rat in the bushes? The thought's terrifying. But being in here sucks worse. Claudia told me to stay, but how can I? If anything bad happens to Pepper or Claudia, I would never forgive myself, and Mom and Goro would never forgive me either. Maybe I'll just peek through the window? Yes, start with seeing what's happening, then make a plan from there. I need to take control. My energy returns. Decided and filled with purpose, I grab the bathroom door, slamming it open. Yee! In no scenario, in no universe, or in any kind of alternate reality did I ever imagine seeing Pepper on the other side of the bathroom door. Nor did Pepper ever expect the door to suddenly open in such a violent manner, just as she was reaching to open it herself. I swear she leapt 3 feet in surprise. Overly focused, there's no time to react to the shock. As a result, my entire upper body recoils away. Of course, this completely unbalances me, and I stumble backwards. My last thought before I trip and crash into the tub is, protect your head! Which, fortunately, I do. Mostly. Ow. Pepper recovers and doesn't give me time to do the same. Hey, outside! Surprisingly strong for her size, she hauls me out of the tub with little difficulty. Before I can say or do anything, Pepper turns and runs back outside. See, I think this is already indicative we're on the right track, because when we tried to call the cops, we ran into Claudia first, because she ran in to grab the towels, and this time we're running into Pepper first. So I think we're on the right track.
Yes, it sounds like it, yes.
Let's go! My eyes practically bulge in a desperate attempt to adjust to the darkness. Once I do, I have mixed emotions. On one hand, I'm glad that Pepper isn't standing on the neck of a monstrous rat out of a dystopian nightmare. On the other hand, that means that it's still in the bushes. Pepper looks at me expectantly, the tip of her tail flicking sharply from side to side. She wears a serious expression I haven't seen before. Gingerly, I approach the bush. My cat skipped to either side of me, just slightly back. Claudia's neutral posture belies her hard focus. She's ready to react if things suddenly take a turn for the worse. I'd like to spend more time thinking about how out of character this is for her, but my full attention is trained on the bush. Pepper seems more agitated. Her tail appears to live independently of her now, the way it snaps back and forth in a combination of concern and annoyance. Still, she hovers just close enough to watch everything scrupulously. I peek around the bush. I can't help myself. I need to see this thing. A very wide and wild eye meets mine. But it's not a rat. It's a Neko. A feral. Curled up, half sitting, half laying on the ground. Realizing that my bushes do not contain an enormous hungry rat with teeth and claws the size of my fingers allows part of my body that I don't usually think about to relax back to a normal state. Relief is an understatement. I actually feel stupid now. Just a feral. For a moment, the feral and I simply stare at each other. I've never seen one this close. This is weird. Interesting. But weird. Ferals always avoid humans. I'll only make it anxious being anywhere near it. I'm about to retreat back into the house and leave it alone when I notice blood. Caked blood. On the side of its face. It's holding one of its arms too close to its body. It's injured. Teeth clenched, it defensively places its uninjured arm between us. Fresh tears pool and run down its face. A feral, dangerous in its own way, but this greatly simplifies the situation. Rule 1 with a feral Neko? Leave it alone. It being injured is even more reason not to mess with it. A healthy feral will avoid you, but if cornered, will fight to protect itself. Looking at the dirty fingernails on its trembling hand raised towards me, I can only imagine the danger that an injured Neko could present if it felt pressed. We really need to just leave it alone. Besides, I have no idea how badly it's hurt. The injuries probably look worse than they are. It might be fine on its own. If it's really badly injured and it's still here in the morning, I'll call an ambulance. But they won't treat it. They'll just put it down. Sorry, kitty. I'm not sure what we could do for you. I'm not foolish enough to get ripped up messing with this thing. The memory of that old news story about the 2 dead feral Nekos that tore each other to pieces fills my thoughts. Like they'd been through a shredder. Yeah, this is interesting. So let's go ahead and drop a save. This is an entirely different train of thought. Like, we did not see anything like this, because by the time we got out of the bathroom last time, Shimi was already in the house. But it feels to me like trying to help it would probably be putting us towards Shimi's path. So I would actually, in this context, nominate to leave it alone. What do you gents think?
Like, we should focus on our girl Pepper.
Right.
Or, I'm sorry, not our girl, Helicopter Man's girl.
Helicopter Man and his girl.
Helicopter.
So we're going to leave it alone. I usher Claudia and Pepper back in, picking up the drop bag of cat bread and my phone along the way. Getting them inside wasn't easy, and the problems didn't end there. Pepper cannot keep still. When she rarely does stop pacing, it's usually at the living room windows. Claudia keeps looking towards the outside, and then to me, her tail briskly sweeping back and forth. Then the muffled, plaintive mewl strikes my ears. The ghostly sound of the feral's forlorn weeping just barely carries through the windows. It's haunting. I feel a bit ghoulish, like witnessing someone on their deathbed, watching as they pray. I'm pretty good at lying to myself at times, but there is no denying the simple fact. It's really hurt bad, probably dying, and the 3 of us are unasked witnesses to this heart-wrenching event. Making her own frustrated murmurs, Pepper darts back and forth between the 2 windows, back and forth, back and forth. Her nails tap on the glass as she presses and twists, stretching her neck to try and see the feral. Then she turns, gazing at me with narrow disappointment. Claudia sits next. No, now they're like guilt-tripping me. What the heck? Claudia sits next to me, simply looking at nothing. When she does look at me, her expression connects me directly to her thoughts, and like a bad joke, I hear my own words reflected back to me. What if you were alone and afraid? You'd want someone to help you. Look. I'm about to rationalize to Claudia and Pepper that it's a feral and there's nothing we can do, when it lets out another soul-crushing plea. Softer and longer, it sends a shiver down my spine. Pepper replies with their own soft sounds of unease. Claudia doesn't even try to hide her pained expression. Serious. They're looking for me to say some magic words or do something that'll make the situation right. You would want someone to help you. Damn it. Claudia and Pepper stand at the window, front row seats, to watch me fumble around, trying to figure out what to do about an injured feral right on my doorstep. I know they're people you call the authorities. Police? An ambulance? What kind of questions do they ask you when you call for this sort of thing? If I call an ambulance, will they just give it an injection and put it to sleep? If I call the police, will they just blow its brains out on my lawn? Either way, on some level, that would make me responsible for killing it. I can't have that on my conscience. I juggle the thoughts racing through my mind. Police, paramedics, dead, half-crazed feral. Resigned, my fingers dial. Ha! Dude, you missed me that much already? I have a problem, Goro sighs. Mia came back. What? No! Listen, there's a feral in my bushes! That's weird. Stay away from it. Ferals are dangerous. You already have 2 Nekos. Goro, it's hurt. I fill him in on the story. The entire story, sorry. Yep, that's a feral. True to his word, Goro arrives quickly. Unsure about what to do, we stand together, watching the feral from a distance. With an uncharacteristic uncertainty, Goro reaches into his medical bag. His hands emerge with a syringe and a small bottle. Are you gonna kill it? Do you want me to kill it? No! Then why did you say that? You got that syringe! These are just antihistamines. You need to calm it down. Quit freaking out. You're making me nervous. Antihistamines make Neko sleep. Even I know this. He cautiously approaches and injects the feral Neko in its calf, the part closest to us. It reflexively pulls away as Goro steps back out of its range. It's as feisty as you are. We watch as the medicine makes its way through the feral, stops trembling very quickly, and relaxes completely. Its shallow breathing slows. So, what do you want me to do? What do you mean? I mean, what do you want me to do about global warming? What the hell do you think I mean? What do you want me to do with the Neko, genius? I want you to treat it, obviously. You're sure. I gave Goro one of my most exasperated expressions. Goro, this week has been non-stop insanity. I can't honestly say I'm sure of anything other than this. I don't want a dead feral at my house. So, yeah, I'm sure. Please, treat it. Okay, good. Goro smiles at me, and I feel my shoulders loosen. Help me get it inside. What? What do you mean? What do you mean, what? I asked you what you want me to do, and you said treat it. Do you think I was just going to give it an aspirin, slap it on the ass, and send it on its way? Well... Goro grins at me, waits for me to catch up. After a moment, I do. Can't you, treat it out here? You're lucky that you're pretty. Didn't think any of this through. Damn it. The shot of antihistamines is the feral flat on the ground, limp, and practically asleep. I ask Claudia to bring us a blanket. Pepper's nowhere to be seen. Once we get the blanket, Goro and I lift the feral with great care. This is completely reckless. Just go slow. We don't want to make any injuries worse than they already are. The feral doesn't struggle. It's almost entirely passive from the effects of the antihistamines. Hey, imagine if your neighbors looked out their window now and saw 2 guys carrying something body-shaped wrapped in a blanket into the house. Shut up, Goro. We get to the living room. Careful, snails can open you up. Yeah, I have 2 Neko fingernails. I know about Neko fingernails. I have 2, remember? I reply snarkily, but still I'm very careful with its hands and sharp fingernails. You didn't give it too much of that stuff, did you? It's breathing and it's not scratching your eyes out. I'd say that's the right amount. Released from our arms, the feral gently spills out onto the carpet. The blanket falls, revealing in the lights of the room the truly terrible state of its condition. It's practically naked and filthy, covered in dirt and dried blood. Torn clothes hang off it in a sad and troubling way. One arm is caked with blood and part of its tail is bent and limp. The feral smells heavily of musk and sweat, of the coppery aroma from old blood and untreated injuries, of peaty earth and damp leaves. It's really dirty. Claudia brings me a cup of milk for the feral. I just set it to a side. Serious. Yep, no denying whatever happened to it was serious. Don't worry, Claus. Sexy Goro is here to save the day. Come on, Claudia. Let's give Goro some time to help it. I stick the cat bread in the refrigerator and leave Goro to treat the feral while I try to deal with the domestics. Some tea will make for a good distraction. And my room is as far away as we can be from Goro and the feral. Pepper's pout and rigid posture speaks volumes on her feelings about Goro's presence down the hall. Ignoring the tea, she goes into her own room. I was so focused on the feral, I didn't even consider how she'd react to Goro coming over. There'll be time later to deal with Pepper, soothe her in some way. Right now, Goro and the feral are a bigger concern. It's as if Goro flipped a switch. No longer the jester, he's become Doc Goro. He examines the feral systematically and thoroughly, gently palpitating with light, cautious movements of his fingers in areas that show no obvious injury, then attending to the more conspicuous wounds. I think we're getting to the point where the stories are reunited, so I'm going to hit the skip button. If you guys want to see this bit, you can go back to some of the earlier episodes, because we are back to the point where I believe it's going to split, where I originally believed Chapter 1 split. Okay. As I predicted, we're back here. Now, during Claudia's path, we had to check on Pep-per because, again, I didn't know how the game worked. But because we want to be as definitively sure as we possibly can that we are on Pep-per's path, we are going to go check on Pep-per. This is going to cue a repeat scene, but that's life. Pep-per's on the window seat. What do you say? Should we fast forward, guys, since this has already been something we covered already?
Yeah, we can fast forward, I think.
All right. We can try sitting with her this time if we think that'll lead to something different. Let me save. We don't want to end up on another Neko's path by accident, but let's give it a shot. If nothing else, we can at least say that we've checked it off. I join Pep-per on the window seat. We sit in silence for a while. The exhaustion weighing heavily on me only adds to the feeling of uselessness. Maybe it would be better to leave her alone. This isn't helpful in any way. When I move to leave, she turns quickly toward me. Something in her look makes me change my mind. But when I sit back down, her expression reads only as annoyance. It's like she can't decide which is worse, me staying or going. I think the feeling is powerlessness we're sharing. It's undermining any chance of us getting out of a gloomy mood. I'm really out of my league here. Maybe I'm just so close to Claudia that I can easily discern her moods and needs, but Pep-per, it's like trying to read a book written in some ancient, forgotten language. You know, Pep-per, Goro really cares about you. He would have taken you with him if he could. Without breaking her staring contest with the knight, she flatly states, "Don't care. Pep-per live here now." She says the last part as if it was a punishment. A mix of resignation and grim reality, like a sentence being read by an emotionless judge. I can't tell if she really doesn't care, or if she's playing coy, or she knows there's simply nothing she can do about it. She turns briefly to me. Pep-per looks away again, her soft, sad eyes repeating her words into a question. Pep-per live here now. Is she asking me if it's okay for her to live here? It's weird to me how she shifts gears so fast. Playful and competitive one moment, and angry and indignant the next. Emotions that all seem so genuine until they fall away, leaving the sad cat behind. The real Pep-per, at least at this moment. Maybe I just don't understand the strange minds of Nekos. Or maybe like me, in the back of Pep-per's mind, she was wondering if this was all still some elaborate Goro prank and he'd show up and take her back home. But he left, and she's still here. Not this time. No prank. I reach out and stroke her head between her ears. The touch slightly startles her, but she doesn't move away or try to stop me, nor does she press into my hand like Claudia would. Gently stroking her hair, I try to give what reassurance I can. Yeah, you live here now. I try to sound enthusiastic about it. I'm not sure if it comes across. How the hell am I going to explain this to Mom? A short time later, the soothing affection I offer seems to reach her a little, I think. Maybe I just bored her, but Pep-per's posture relaxes. She leans out of my reach and curls up on the window seat. Eventually, her breathing shows that she's fallen asleep. So, once again, rather than checking on another Neko, we are going to stay with her because I think that is generally what we're going to need to do. Once again, we're going to hold the skip function until something changes. Okay, so we are at this prompt. Once again, we're going to leave it alone. Because before we were trying to get onto Pep-per's path, and we just did a really bad job. Pep-per is now stoned off her butt. Noodles. Pretty much going to go until the next prompt. Or until the game confirms that we are indeed in new territory. It looks like this choice with Claudia apparently does not matter. For the sake of argument, I'll just say a quiet meal and keep the ball rolling here. Let the skip function do its thing. It'll auto-stop once we hit either a prompt or a part we haven't read before. They were kind enough to qualify that for me, but I played RenP visual novels before, so I actually already knew that. Just as a matter of clarification. Oh, okay, this is the bit where you can bond with Shimi, but I'm going to give her space because we don't want to end up on Shimi's path again. Let the ball roll for a while. I think this is when we're playing bounce with her. Oh no, that's where she hit our keys. Then we have the awkward cell phone vibration moment.
Oh my.
Claudia's talking to Mom on the phone. Pep-per shower time. The first time we're reading Sin Kitty.
Helicopter Man likes this part.
Well, we've done this one before, so we don't need to retread it right now.
Please rewatch the earlier episodes for Helicopter Man.
I'm just
amazing voice acting.
That he did.
I'm just saying, I would be completely okay with a more fleshed out Sin Kitty. I'm curious about it. Honestly, I'm just saying.
I will talk to the devs about it and see if we can hash anything out about that.
If anything, if they were ever going to do like a side thing, actual fighting game or spectacle fighter, Sin Kitty seems like an easy way of doing that without actually going into. I don't ever think that they would ever actually do Powerful Paws, the OmOneko fighting game. As funny as that would be. As funny as it would be to have Veronica actually be top tier and completely destroy the actual cat girls.
Oh, is this
as
new?
You rightfully should.
Okay, Helicopter Man, I think we're doing a new bit now.
Boss fight. Don't mind if I do. Let's go.
For the record, that is an
we did it. We are on Pepper's path. We did it correctly this time.
Oh, gentlemen, congratulations, gentlemen. Congratulations.
We had to course correct a tiny bit, but you know what? We are finally on Pepper's path.
Course correct a tiny bit? We literally had the developer come in and be like, "Oh, bless your heart, you sweet summer child.
What path are you on again?" It's like, we figured it out, okay? Go easy on us.
Bless your heart. You guys...
if I knew... If I knew, I would have done it right the first time. I just didn't know, okay? So, like, I can't help it that my choices were very Claudia adjacent, even without me consciously realizing it.
Okay. In our defense, and, I mean, I imagine I probably have more experience with visual novels than you do, Professor, and a lot of visual novels will be very brain-dead.
Yeah.
You basically have to do Type Moon level shenanigans in order to actually get things that are like more nuanced than I like this girl, I am going to interact with this girl, and that's like how you get the route to that girl.
Yeah.
Most visual novels are kind of brain dead that way.
Right.
They're not like you have to think about things in a particular way. So,
and that's true. Yeah. And that's fair. That's why the game dev made fun of us, yes. And we all say,
I mean, completely justifiably, I'm just...
The game is now quoting magical Mr. Mephistopheles. And we all say, oh, well, I never. Was there ever a cat so clever?
I would just like to point out that Helicopter Man was not present for any of that shenaniganery.
Well, then you can go back and watch the first episodes with our viewers, so...
You were president.
Helicopter Man has watched the episodes. He just wants to point out he was not involved.
Okay.
In the nonsense of not knowing about what route we were on.
Okay, fine, and that's fair. That is ultimately on me, as I'm the one clicking the mouse. I'll own that. I'm just saying, my original plan...
I see.
My original plan was to have an organic playthrough, which is what took us to Shimi. Once we realized we were on Shimi's path, I was going to do Pep-per second, and then Claudia to wrap up the Let's Play. And so we're doing things a little out of order. So now we are finally on Pepper's path and the third major story leg of the game. So, go team.
Okay. Finally, we're on the path for best girl Pepper. The only one who appreciates Helicopter Man's genius.
I'm just saying, Helicopter Man, I'm not surprised at all that you like Pepper. I mean, she's a short stack. She's feisty. She has some of the best quotes in the game. And she seems very much your type.
She literally named the protagonist Noodles, plural.
Yeah.
So
I don't know why you're talking about that. That's relevant to Noodle, not to Helicopter Man.
Oh, yes, my mistake.
Oh, yes, and they're completely different.
Different people, right?
I'm just saying, though, have we ever seen Helicopter Man and Noodle in the same room at the same time?
That's a fair point.
What are you talking about, guys? I'm right here.
Oh, yes, silly yes. A constant wave of water pelts the house. The storm ceases rainfall is broken only by the raucous crash of thunder, which rolls across the land. As if a mountain were cracking in half. I feel the violence of sound rush from my nose to my toes. Yo! From across the house, Ever shouts in reply. With each resounding clap of thunder, she bellows at the top of her lungs. As if the storm wasn't enough on its own, Bever's yells amplify the jarring effects of the thunder. Her shouts fracture the drone of the falling rain, shattering that cascade of fuzzed white noise. Actually, is this a repeat? Nope, this is all original. Alright, cool.
Well, for the record, I don't know if you were familiar with this there, Helicopter Man. Our assault doodle, Cooper, will do the same thing.
And
he
shout
thinks
back at
that,
the
like,
thunder.
every single time it starts thundering or lightning, he'll try and run outside and, like, be trying to shout at the thunder as if he's, like, trying to challenge Zeus himself. It's like, bless your heart, you are a 50-pound dog. You are not going to win whatever conflict you're trying to initiate.
An ear-splitting ruckus rolls from the heavens, followed by another from down the hall. Thunder booms and Pepper booms back. The whole house shakes from their clattering duet. Any chance of calm is foiled by this strange double team of Pepper and the Storm, as each try to out-volume the other. What the hell's going on out there? Crazy Neko? Crazy Kitty? Nutty Neko? Cat of a... Nope. I think that's all I got. Oh, one more. Freak of a feline.
Clearly it's a cattywampus.
You don't mean caterwauling?
Yeah, maybe a catastrophe. No, wait, no, that's already happened.
Yeah.
You got hit with the cat ass trophy.
Yeah, I did. The racket draws me off of the comfortable sofa. The noisemaker in the thunderclouds is beyond my reach, so I should be able to do something about the one down the hall. Referring to sleep to thunderstorms, Claudia earlier retreated to her room. I don't know how she does it. The thunder, Pepper shouts, loud enough to wake the dead. The storm has also kept Shimi cooped up in her closet. I haven't seen her all day. I'm not concerned, though. I know she'll magically appear when she's ready to eat. Pepper is by the windows, crouched and perfectly still, eyes locked on the sky. Her hands are balled into tight fists, set to strike at the storm. Like the last Spartan at Thermopylae, she dares the storm to come. If she could, she'd punch nature right in the nose.
Okay, that is a misnomer. Everyone thinks about the 300 at Spartans. That was not 300 Spartans. There was actually about 20,000 Spartans there. It's just what they're thinking of is the 300 Spartiates, the actual citizens.
All right.
The average American has a very, very warped idea of the way that Spartan life was. It's kind of sad and really is an indictment of modern education.
You know, it's fair. There really is something wrong with her. The rain hammers the tile. What's that?
I was just going to say, much like the education system.
The rain hammers the tile, glass, and siding of the house. Pepper waits. I admit, as bizarre as her behavior is, it's impressive. Once she gets going, there really is no stopping her. I'm about to announce my presence and admonish her for the noise when, for an instant, the room is brighter than any daytime. With a quick inhale, Pepper begins counting. Her voice, a whisper, is barely audible against the incessant rain. 1, 2, 3, 4. The crack of thunder rattles the windows. All at once, Pepper explodes with a hard, rapturous shriek of unbridled fury and joy, a shout of nervous enthusiasm and brash excitement, but mostly, Nya! Defiance. Pepper's full-throated
You know what?
shout.
More power to her. God
It's like
bless
that
her
was
heart.
the same kind of laugh as the cat girl maids, and it's on the mouse. I didn't realize these games would overlap so much, but lo and behold, they have.
You know, it's funny actually. You think about it. Yeah, OmOneko basically is you playing as those guys.
Yeah, kind of. Pepper's
Yeah.
full-throated shout into the face of the storm echoes through the room. Even though I fully expected what was coming, but the thunder and Pepper are so sudden and unrestrained that it causes me to jump. For a moment, I'm not sure which is louder, the thunder from the storm or the thunder from Pepper. Both shake the house with their coarse, bellowing booms. Then together, the thunder and Pepper's yell quickly ebb off. They ebb, trailing off. They each quiet, readying for the next round, until finally the only remaining sound are those of the teeming rain and a snickering Pepper. She is nuttier than squirrel shit. She still hasn't...
That's a funny mental image.
It is, isn't it? She still hasn't noticed me. The storm completely masks my presence. Pepper waits. Her only movement is the tip of her tail, which periodically flips back and forth, pauses, then flips again. But this is not just Pepper's usual insubordinate and obstinate self, blatantly defiant for the sake of it. There's something else going on. The storm makes me feel insignificant, humble, and powerless. Pepper, by contrast, is giving it the middle finger. It doesn't matter to Pepper that she can't affect the storm. She's not going to let a little thing like that get in her way. Instead, it's like she's taking the storm's presence as a personal insult. She's defending the house from everything nature is throwing at us in her zesty, pepper-flavored way. It's completely insane. Why is it making me smile? The entire event.
Because she was...
Pepper's
She,
girl.
do you ever think that maybe there's nominative determinism is a thing?
It sure seems to be, right?
Well, let's just put it this way. My family has a Chesapeake Bay Retriever. Her name is Bear, okay? She's
Right.
the most stubborn, bear-like animal that I have ever known. But here, we have Pepper, who is feisty, spicy, but ultimately is very lovely and you know, a very charming young lady in and of herself. Very peppery, I would say. She's aptly named. So
That's
this
fair.
makes me wonder ponder the question: is nominative determinism actually a thing?
And that's
'Cause
why the waitress is named Waitress, because we have to wait for her route.
Until the DLC, right?
Yes,
I waited.
truly, Helicopter Man is wise beyond his years.
Waitress
Wait,
DLC coming. I believe in it.
wait, he says. Do I look like a waiter? The entire event.
And then that's when Kefka, yo, he said the thing.
The entire event, Richard's spirited, peppery passion sweeps me up, despite how crazy I know it is. I guess it's what I need right now, a distraction. Thunderstorms do make me anxious. I hate to admit it, but I'm giddy. I'm finding myself enjoying her enjoyment.
You know, God, Noodles really is a ball of nerves. He has not actually been out in a camp, you know, like camping in cloth tents in a thunderstorm.
No, definitely
You know,
not.
you don't get, yeah, I mean, that'll cure him of any of this anxiety, that's for certain.
I
Yeah,
imagine.
try go camping in hurricane force gale winds. It's just like, yeah.
I hate to admit it, but I'm giddy. I'm finding myself enjoying her enjoyment, keenly awaiting along with her, and almost eager for the next flash and clap, silently cheering her on. Seeing her in action makes me weirdly proud of her. Still, there's
Good
something...
job, Pepper.
Yeah, I was about to say, fight the power. There's something else I noticed as I
Right.
watch her anticipation of the next bolt. Excitement?
That's right. Fist fight the hurricane, Pepper. Go on, do it.
Soft distress? Only now I notice a slight trembling corrupting her joy. Is it fear? The thought becomes questions. If she knew I was here, would that make her self-conscious? Or if I join in her game and stand with her, would it ease her anxiety? Beside the latter is
I don't think that she would care. Honestly,
Yeah.
that's not a very peppery thing to do.
I decide the latter is
Pepper
probably
has
the best option.
shame.
Hey, Pep. Ah! Then comes a time for everyone when they stop and reflect on their life choices. Later, when I look back at this moment, I'm sure I'll think, wow, that was dumb. See, here's some good advice no one ever tells you. Never, ever, ever, ever startle a Neko. Just don't. It won't end well. And though I didn't intend to, I just scared the bejesus out of Pepper. You know in the movies when everything goes into slow motion? Firstly, that happens. With her focus solidly out the window and the hard rain drowning out the sound of my approach, my excited, "Hey, Pepper," and the tap on her shoulder causes her to leap halfway to the ceiling. In retrospect, yeah, very, very bad idea. But incredible timing as it happens at the exact moment that the lightning decides to flash. Like the world's worst jack-in-the-box, Pepper doesn't leap up or run away from me. Oh no. With a hair-raising yelp, Pepper somehow leaps backwards towards me, spinning in the air like an Olympic diver. In that instant, to Pepper, I was the storm in corporeal form. The sneaky storm snuck up and gave her a wedgie. Woe upon it. I mean, upon me. Ah! Pepper flies at me. Her arms wrap around my head. Her bent legs clamp onto my torso. The full force of her hits me. I stumble backwards, tripping over her small suitcase, and both of us stumble. And then the floor. Pepper's on top of me.
Oh my. She's going to realize what she's doing and things are going to get spicy.
Oh dear. Pepper's on top of me, breathing like she just finished a marathon game of bounce. Her chest is in my face. Again. The floor is in great pain. No, wait. That's me. Ow! Why are floors so hard? For a moment, we stay like that. Me on my back groaning. Pepper straddling me, clutching my head tightly to her chest, trying to catch her breath. I don't know why, but I start to laugh. Bad move. Laughing hurts. This isn't funny at all, but it totally is. Pepper's temper flares. Still on top of me, she releases me from the headlock. My head falls from her modest breasts and bounces off the floor. Ow.
Once again, I'd like to point out, this is probably why Helicopter Man likes her best. Just saying.
No.
Helicopter Man doesn't know what you're talking about. Helicopter Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You keep saying that, bro.
No.
I mean, Helicopter Man. I mean.
Yeah. No scare Pepper. The thunder and Pepper rumble unhappily, alternating between laughing and groaning. I reply, "Ow, oops, that was a..." Pepper nearly peed Pepper's pants. Her expression is truly priceless. Genuine honesty, slight embarrassment, and one very unhappy Neko. I reach up and rub the back of my head, completely ignoring the fact that once again Pepper's straddling me. I didn't mean to scare you, Pepper.
Yeah,
I'm very sorry. Still frowning like a scolded kitten, Pepper regards me, gauging my sincerity. Are you hurt? Pepper not hurt. She spits the words at me. It's my suggestion that something could hurt her was a bad flavor in her mouth. Her resentment resurges, but only for a second. Then it ebbs away as she meekly asks, "You hurt?" I rub the bump on the back of my head. Maybe? Good. Her fierce tone still harbors the insult to her pride, but the word contradicts concern in her eyes. Pepper searches for any sign that I might actually be bleeding or bruised. It was a harsh landing. I'm fine. My thick skull served me well for once. My joke and slight grin caused Pepper to make a grumpy face. She refuses to give up her annoyance, which only makes me smile more. She bites her bottom lip, ferociously resisting the urge to smile back. A grin creeps its way across the fringe of her mouth anyway. I start to chuckle again, and it makes her go red. Despite her fury, the humor of it begins to prevail. She laughs too. Only a little at first, and then the ridiculousness of it all fully hits her, and we both cackle like a pair of crazy people. She smacks me on the shoulder. Flinched, puncher pinched. I'm pretty sure you flinched when you almost went straight through the ceiling like in a cartoon. We're lucky the room isn't getting all wet from a pepper-shaped hole in the roof. Ha! Pepper Pro, 3 times soft landing. You, noob, 0 times standing. I think if you pee your pants, you automatically lose. Remind me to buy diapers for my poopy pants Neko when I go back to the store. No, you! Head with bruise, peed on. You lose. You peed on me? I didn't know you were a kinky Neko. Pepper drops the game and cocks her head. What means kinky? Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Out of nowhere.
No.
This conversation's gotten away from me, which once again reminds me, Pepper is straddling me inappropriately. Kinky, when your friend's Neko gives you a lap dance. Not like we were doing it intentionally. Hey, awake!
Again.
Yeah, again.
Again.
This is the second time, chronologically. Pepper snaps her fingers in front of my nose, pointedly waiting. She focuses her expression, making it clear that since I said it, I get to explain it. Kinky. I have no idea how to address this. At the very moment that we both realize Shimi is watching us from the hallway, poof, the mystery cat has conjured herself back. Being under Pepper with the feral casually looming over us, a feeling of vulnerability washes over me. I quickly roll and rise to my feet, unceremoniously dumping Pepper off of me in the process. As always, the Pharaoh's unexpected appearance causes my stomach to tighten, but her timing gets me out of the awkward conversation of discussing kink with Pepper.
Oh, I was about to say, this is a classic, oh, look at the time. We're going to continue this conversation. Never.
Hey, Shimi. I address the Pharaoh over disgruntled Pepper noises. Distrustingly, Shimi watches my mouth make words. She looks rough. Hungry? Come on, I'll feed you and give you some meds. Slipping past Shimi, Pepper follows me into the kitchen. Grab a can of tuna while Pepper keeps a suspicious eye on the storm. Moving cautiously, the Pharaoh joins us a moment later. Shimi seems to be balancing.
Who knows when the... I was just going to say, who knows when the, storm is going to sneak up and tap her on the back of the shoulder again.
Yeah, seriously. Shimi seems to be balancing her feral instincts, leery of any possible ill intent on my part, with her hungry, injured self that wants the tuna. I'm certain that a part of her knows I'm trying to help her. Still, she keeps her distance. Are you hungry too, Pepper? I assume Claudia's still asleep. I'm glad when Pepper's reply is as quiet as my question. Nah. Then, like 1,000 camera flashes at once, the kitchen is ablaze with light and sound. Almost simultaneously, the bang from the storm resounds and reverberates. It's as if the walls and cabinets were alive with it. Such an instant shock that I have to juggle the can of tuna to keep from dropping it. Pepper clutches the counter like she's going to pull it off the wall. She seems to suck the entire storm into her lungs as she inhales, giving it right back with a yell so loud. Wah! Dropped the can of tuna that I had managed to hold on to just moments before. What the hell, Pepper? Recovering from the sensory assault by the storm and its Neko nemesis, I'm unsurprised that Shimi has vanished. If Claudia wasn't awake before, she is now. Pepper regards me cynically, as if confused why I yelled, or why I'm currently giving her a dirty look. Then, like she was stung by a bee, Pepper abruptly runs out of the kitchen back towards her room. Opening the can of tuna, I genuinely wonder if I'll ever get used to the freak of a feline shenanigans. Nutty Neko? As Pepper rounds the corner, heading down the hall, Shimi reemerges. Crush up an antihistamine. Welcome back, Shimi. I'll have this ready for you in a moment. Before I can grab a bowl, Pepper bursts back into the room. Skidding to a stop by the sunroom doorway, she shoots me a look of pure mischief. I recognize a gleam in her eyes, and it makes my blood run cold. Oh, no. The same look Goro would give every time he was about to pull one of his pranks. The look he saved for when that master trickster got all the pieces to fall into place. An announcement that someone's world was about to get very awry to his doing. Pepper, no, whatever it is, don't do it! Pepper barks a laugh, and golden fire leaps from her eyes. She holds up her ball. her ball and lets out a shout. Get him, Pepper! Then Pepper's out the door and into the storm. I toss the crushed antihistamine into the tuna and drop the open can under the counter in front of Shimi. By the time I get to the back open door, Pepper's in the middle of the backyard. Like a lunatic that just escaped an asylum, she dances and spins in the pouring rain with her ball. She's already completely soaking wet. I have to shout for her to hear me over the storm. Come inside this instant! Three-eyed iguana, Pepper don't wanna. I'm serious! Play bounce. What? Bounce? Now? In this weather? Insanity. Come play bounce.
In this weather, in this economy.
As if a man can afford to play bounce in this economy. I am not playing Whomp. Pepper chucks the ball hard. She puts a spin on it and it cuts to the wind. The ball bounces out the kitchen window and returns to Pepper. Stop that! Whomp. Pepper! Pouncy, trouncy, Pepper, bouncy. Something, mispronouncy. For F's sake.
Oh.
Pressing the
Come on, Pepper. You could do better than that.
Pressing the heels of my hands hard against my forehead momentarily keeps my head from exploding. There must have been something I did in a past life. Something that was really terrible for me to be punished like this now. Whomp. She continues to splash around the backyard. I rack my addled brain for some idea of how to end whatever game this crazy soaked-to-the-bone Neko is playing. Ironically, I'm coming up dry. Standing here with the door open, blurring the line between dry inside and wet outside, is not in any way making progress towards getting this dumb cat back in the house. Play! Rain not go away, a bouncy game, or Pepper stay. Great, now we're negotiating in rhyme. Please? Pepper stops jumping.
Negotiate in rhyme, then you do it all the time.
Pepper stops jumping around and looks at me earnestly, holding my eyes with hers. Her pouty expression is so sincere and pleady that I'm momentarily disarmed. It'd be truly endearing if she wasn't completely soaked. My resolve begins to disintegrate. I mean, I'm already getting wet from standing here in the doorway. If I play one round of bounce with you, you'll come in, right? 10 bounce. What? No! 8. I'll play 2 rounds of bounce if you promise 12, 15. That is not how you negotiate. 4. Fine, yes, 4. I quickly seize on 4, figuring it's the best deal I'm getting out of her. Pepper squeals with delight. Flashes light up the sky. Ignoring the bad omen, I try and stay focused. I just need to get this over with as quickly as possible. I'll get wet, but it's not like I'm going to get struck by lightning.
Oh, Noodles. Come on, man.
Yeah. I'll get wet, but it's not like I'm going to get struck by lightning and die. It's not that kind of game. I wonder how many people said that exact thing right before getting struck by lightning. Shut up, brain.
He's not going to get struck by lightning. Do you understand how lightning works?
Also, there's things that are way higher than you, and second, getting hit by lightning is very seldom fatal. So you would just get hit, and it would hurt. It would hurt a lot, but you'd likely survive.
And if anything, like Pepper would probably respect you more if you got struck by lightning.
And that's true. Unsurprisingly...
Like, oh, Noodles got hit by lightning. Noodles defeat Lightning Lord.
Noodles defeat Zeus in his own game.
Zeus tried to kill Noodles. Noodles live.
Noodles live.
Unsurprisingly, agreeing to play bounce in the storm turns out to be a terrible decision. The wind and rain make it difficult to even see Pepper much of the time. I'm soaked the moment I step out from the meager shelter of the doorway and into the yard. I shiver as every movement presses cold, wet clothes to my skin, stealing away my body's warmth. The feeling is not unlike getting into an ice-cold pool, except I have no control over how quickly it happens. Option 1, get struck by lightning and die. Option 2, catch a cold and die. Why not both? At least the lightning would warm you up. I throw the ball as hard as I can onto the spongy ground. Saturated from the heavy rain, Pepper's ball not only doesn't bounce, it half buries itself in my feet with a slurpy plop. There's no bounce in this game of bounce. Pepper points and laughs at my folly. Fix it! Fix it? Really? I shake my head and wrestle the ball from the grip of the muddy ground, resisting the urge to huck it right at her. Let's go! Pepper and the wind howl at me. Recreating bounce with a distinctive lack of bounce becomes its own challenge. Trying to be clever, I throw the ball up into the air, hoping to arc it to her. Get him, Pepper! Pepper's coppery eyes gleam and sparkle, watching as the wind gust carries it up. And over somewhere into Veronica's yard. Of course, Pepper finds this to be hysterical. She doubles over in laughter. I do my best to hide my frustration as it seems to sadistically feed Pepper's enjoyment. Get to go fetch the ball. Pepper doesn't go. Instead, we both just stare at each other, squinting from the storm. Rain and wind fill the expanse between us. The focused energy makes it feel like we're dueling, a standoff, because it's really just two idiots trying to play a stupid game in a thunderstorm. I grit my teeth, ready to call the whole thing off and head back inside. Just as I think she's about to start another series of negotiations, Pepper abruptly breaks the standoff, trotting off to Veronica's yard. Yes! Finally! It's a minor victory, but I'm still quite pleased with myself about it. Until, from the warm, dry comfort of the house, I notice our audience. Claudia in the sunroom on her couch, and Shimi in the kitchen eating tuna with her hands. Both watch the comedy of errors with curious confusion as the rain comes down in buckets. The momentary joy of telling Pepper to do something and having her actually do it, which doesn't happen very often, is replaced with cold embarrassment. The rumbling in the sky announces Pepper's return to the ball. My jaw clenches tightly. Through trial and error, I found that by throwing the ball up at a hard angle, I'm able to use the wind to send it in her general direction. It's not an exact science and causes Pepper to run around more than usual to catch it. She splashes around the yard laughing and jumping with her wet clothes clinging tightly to her body. At least she seems really happy. I'm just glad that Pepper's not into Frisbee. Finally, after way too much time, we get our 4 solid rounds of bounce.
Yeah, unfortunately, she doesn't do that because, she's not nearly high enough.
Yep. All right, that's 4. Let's get inside and 1 more. No, Pepper, none more. Inside. 1 more, fun more. Pepper bounce, not bored. Sigh. All right, fine. 1 more, and that's it. 1 more. I said 1 more. I said okay. 1 more and 1 more. It takes 3 throws to have a successful 1 more. I guess I shouldn't be surprised when Pepper still isn't ready to go back in. 1 more. No, Pepper, we already did 1 more. 1 more, 1 more. I can tell we're no longer playing bounce. Likely we never were. Instead, we seem to be playing a game of how long can the dumb Neko keep the even dumber human outside in the rain. Muddy, cold, soaked to the bone, and fortunately not yet struck by lightning, I've had enough. You know what? I'm going inside. You can stay out here and catch pneumonia if you want to. Not catch pneumonia, catch ball, Pepper gonna. Ignoring Pepper's protests, I return to the kitchen. Shimi, fed, sedated.
Oh, jeez.
Shimi, fed and sedated, likely bored with the incomprehensible backyard craziness, is presumably tucked away in her closet. Claudia meets me at the door with a towel. She grabbed a few, anticipating that Pepper and I would be bringing half the storm inside with us. She's not wrong. I realize I'm dripping and making a mess all over the place. Claudia's foresight only highlights my idiotic compliance of playing outside in the wind and rain during a thunderstorm. Whump! Claudia and I jump, startled by the ball bouncing off the window. Flinch, punch or pinch. Naughty Pepper. The heat from the shower slowly chases the chill from my bones. Mud and the stress of dealing with Pepper are together washed away down the drain. I hate to admit it, but now that I'm warming back up, playing outside with Pepper wasn't all that bad. It did bring us something that Goro would get me into. All the times he wrote me into something crazy come flooding back, bringing with him a smile and a shake of my head. My last birthday was a big one. It's a good thing Mia wasn't home when he showed up with a tank of helium and 200 balloons. Poor Claudia, of course she let him in. Then I got home to a house full of balloons and 2 of them chirping at me with their helium-pitched voices. Damn it, Goro, why'd you have to go join the army? Why does missing you make me feel guilty? Pepper. Yeah, Pepper. She just bores so easily. I'm doing my best to make this her home. But maybe I'm not doing enough to keep her unbored. Then again, Goro dumped her on me. Maybe I'm feeling guilty is misplaced. Rubbing the bump on the back of my head reinforces that argument. But she's my responsibility, and that means I have to properly care for her, regardless if I choose this path or not. And that includes keeping her on board. I'll have to find more ways to entertain. Pep-per shower time now! And just like that, I watch the shower water and my pleasant mood swirl down the tub's drain. Wait your turn, Pep-per. Pep-per, wanna shower time now. Let's go, Pep-per, meow.
Oh my.
What an absolute pest. Glad I remembered to lock the door. Hey, Pep-per wet, need shower time. If you're already wet, why do you need a shower? It's oddly quiet at the door, standing unmoving under the warm shower water. The sudden silence from Pepper's side of the door is strange and off-putting. Maybe my response had a reset switch in her brain, and she's simply standing there confused. Pep-per shower, Pep-per shower, Pep-per shower, Pep-per shower, Pep-per shower. Yep, Pepper recovers from her moment of confusion, redoubling her insistence that I let her in with a non-stop barrage against the door and my sanity. Once again, Pepper has me rushing to finish my shower so she can take hers. I quickly rinse and dry off, feebly convincing myself that I was done anyway. It's gotten quiet again. I'm sure Pepper can hear me grumbling. Ready to firmly inform Pepper that her impatience is not appreciated, I slide open the door. Pepper's nowhere to be found. Once again, she's down the hall, standing sideways with her arms crossed and her nose turned up. The entire hallway floor is wet, with rain-soaked and muddy pepper-shaped footprints. Muddy, pepper-shaped handprints decorate the walls, and the dirty puddle she's creating gets bigger by the moment. Yeah, I was a terrible, terrible person in a past life. It's the only explanation. Pepper, I'm out. Get in now. Pepper scoffs. Instead of getting in and getting clean, my unconditional surrender of the shower has her glaring at me. I have no idea why she's trying to make me frustrated, but she's succeeding. This is the same game she played last time. Did I win last time? Can't remember. Probably not. Pepper! Acting pissy, maybe playing hard to get, she makes an obvious show of ignoring me. I can't figure out what she wants, but I can feel it causing frustration to boil in my belly. Alright, we have a choice now, gents. So are we going to turn the water off, or are we going to leave the water on?
I would say leave the water on, and, with that, I shall have to adieu.
Alright, thank you for joining us, Noodle and Helicopter Man.
You're very welcome. Helicopter Man also has to go now, but that is entirely unrelated.
Yes, that is a coincidence, I'm sure.
Entirely coincidental, yes. Very coincidental. Now, personally, I would say turn the water off, but that's just because, I'm thinking, I don't remember, what would Pepper do?
Try to beat her at her own game? Yeah, let's try that. Let's try to turn the water off. Don't want a shower? Okay. Being clean and warm feels so good. Too bad Pepper has to stay muddy now. Angry Pepper noises carry from the foyer into the bathroom as she stomps heavily down the hallway. This could blow up in my face, but I'm committed to the decision. Hot. Surprisingly, the shower's turned back on. Unsurprisingly, Pepper bickers at the faucet. Cold. Hot. Cold. Apparently Pepper doesn't know how to blend the hot and cold water, so she's just going back and forth from one extreme temperature to the other. Wait, the whole time they were together, Goro never taught her how to turn on the shower. Or Pepper, who loves showers, never figured it out? That makes no sense. And again, Pepper does a lot of things that make no sense. But this, Pepper has to know that she'll never get the result she wants by randomly spinning knobs. There wasn't a hint of desperation bleeding as she angrily twists the spigots. I think she's only doing it to annoy me. If she's doing it just to annoy me, it is working. Damn it, Goro! On the other hand, if it kept Pepper from being in the shower all day while Goro was at work, yeah, I can see how him keeping that knowledge from her. Such a spoiled little brat. I dress and do my best to ignore her. My god, she's unrelenting! It's impossible to concentrate on anything other than the ruckus she's making. Claudia's cleaning up the muddy mess in the kitchen, because of course she is. Don't worry about this, I'll do it. Claudia regards me apprehensively as I take the mop. Trust me, I have no desire to do this, but I'm the one responsible. No reason for you to clean it. It's not your mess. I insist. She steps back and watches as I work on the muddy footprints. I hate cleaning, but I'd hate making Claudia do this more. I owe her for all of Pepper's nonsense today. Cleaning this one won't kill me. Naughty Pepper. Yeah, she is. Sorry, we woke you up. I know you like to sleep when there's a storm. Thunder and lightning have passed, and only the rain continues to fall. Claudia gazes out into it. Big rain. By the way, Pepper's been going this entire time. It says she keeps alternating hot, cold, hot, cold. It's like that's actually been going on in the background, like this entire time. It's good for the garden, though. Those thirsty plants are getting a nice drink and a good bath. She offers me a tired, distracted smile. To the noises of one unhappy Neko, I sigh deeply, and rarely start to mop up the puddles leading from the foyer to the bathroom. Undeterred, Pepper's battle with the shower temperature continues the entire time I work. The foyer, the hallway floor and walls. Getting it all clean takes a while. The entire time, Pepper's still spinning the magic shower prize wheels. I have a feeling that she could go on like this indefinitely. Unbelievable. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. I wonder which one of us that applies to at this moment. Okay, enough! I stomp into the bathroom and freeze in my tracks. Pepper, a hand on each spigot, is as naked as the day she was born. Shivering from being naked, wet, and cold, she chaotically twists the shower knobs. There's no methodology to her actions. She simply turns the hot and cold knobs wildly back and forth, only pausing momentarily to see if this combination is the correct one. She punctuates each repeated failure with a thump of her tail against the side of the tub. My default has been to quickly create distance from her when she gets naked, but I simply don't have a way to mentally catalog what I'm seeing. And the hearts are now raining from the sky. How lovely. It's caused me to be unable to commit to either impulse, considering further into the bathroom or turning away and retreating back to the kitchen. One thing is certain, I've been standing here looking at naked Pepper for far too long. It's not that I want to see her naked. I don't. It feels wrong. She is pretty, though. That thought finally gets my brain back into gear. Swallowing, I slowly approach the butt-naked Neko before me. It's not naked. It says naked. Nekked. Surprised, Pepper. Surprised, Pepper jumps slightly as I gently move her away from the shower dials. She glares suspiciously as I adjust the knobs until the water's that sweet spot of warmish hot. Naked Pepper skeptically tests the shower water. Warm, warm, yee! Power shower, Pepper, wee! Pepper then wraps her arms around me in a tight, naked hug. I am very aware of her arms around my back, the side of her head, and her chest pressed against me, one leg wrapped around mine and her pelvis pressed against my thigh. It's a tight, happy hug, squeezing me in gratitude for solving her great shower water temperature crisis. Just, she's doing it completely nude. Fortunately, before I'm called upon to form an opinion on her naked embrace, Pepper releases me. Abruptly, she glares. No pout. Pepper shower time. You out. Yes, me out. As I close the bathroom door, it dawns on me. Pepper's going back and forth. Hot, cold, hot, cold. In the end, did get the result she wanted. Guess it's not insanity. At least, not for her. Changing the subject is how we humans signal that we've lost an argument. She tried not to sound too smug. After lunch, a strange thing happens. While letting my brain take a bit of a journey with random internet stuff, I realize I haven't been interrupted for some time. It hits me. I'm alone. This is weird. Shimi's in the closet, still sedated from the tuna she had earlier. Claudia and Pepper ate and are now in their rooms. Can't remember the last time I was alone, and not asleep. As strange as this moment is, I know it's only a pause in the chaos that normally fills this house. Chaos. Pepper. She's still on my mind from earlier. I need to come up with ideas. Get ahead of her. Find things to keep Pepper on board. Something to engage her. Keep her interested and occupied. If I can figure that out, maybe I can bring a modicum of peace to our lives. It occurs to me that I really don't know her that well, which is maybe why I'm having such a hard time coming up with something. Shouldn't be so difficult. She's just an echo. Yes, but no. It's more nuanced than that. Claudia and Shimi are Nekos, but they're as different from each other as they are from Pepper. Speaking of Shimi, I glance towards the curtains. I wonder what's going on with her hoard. Am I really going to use Shimi's stash as a distraction from having to deal with the Pepper problem? Since I'm not coming up with a solution to the pepper problem, yeah, yes I am. Besides, I haven't checked in a while. Curiously, one of my canvas shopping bags is now hidden behind the curtains. Even more curiously, it's not empty. So not only is Shimi wandering around the house at night, apparently she's shopping, too. A brief mental image floats in my head of Shimi at the grocery store checkout, calling to mind that fairy tale, Fancy the Feral. Fancy the Feral brought dead rats to a store, for which the shopkeep would give her food and clothes and more. Every day she would visit, a clutch of rats in her hand, and the shopkeep would trade, a deal we can understand. One day Fancy didn't come, so the shopkeep perchance to see, searched forest, farms, and fields, as he missed his fancy. In a cave what he found brought ice to his soul, not his Neko, and said, "Rats!" They devoured him whole. And so this tale's told, its moral plain to see. Leave Nekos to their business, they're not as you hope them to be. Shimi is definitely not Fancy. But even if she's not visiting the convenience store, I think the fact that she collects things is a sign that she's getting better. Everything in her stash is my stuff, but I don't feel irritated that Shimi took these things. Instead, discovering what Shimi stashed gives me a bit of a thrill. It's a peek into a very foreign and mysterious place, the mind of a feral. After glancing around to ensure I'm still alone, I entertain myself with a quick inventory of Shimi's hoard. What types of things does a feral find worthy enough to snatch and stash? One of my sweaters. Mia made me buy this for myself. Forgot I had it. Must have been in one of the boxes in the hall closet. Is there anything in that closet that I wouldn't want Shimi rummaging through? I don't think there's anything in there besides some clothes, old comics, maybe some photos. Most of that stuff I haven't touched in forever. Nope, can't think of a single thing that might be in there that I would miss if it disappeared. Yeah, that's fine, Shimi. I'm happy to let you have it. Besides, you already have me a shirt. Might as well have a sweater to go with it. Next, that can of crushed tomatoes. As I turn the can over in my hands, its weight seems to pull my brow into a furrow. I feel my lips pucker. I just don't get it. There's nothing remarkable about it.
That is one thing that I really wish we had an explanation for, or like greater insight into.
Why she likes this particular can of crushed tomatoes.
Yeah, why the crushed tomatoes?
I doubt she can read. It's probably that she likes the colors on it and just decided she likes it. That'd be my guess, but there's nothing remarkable about it. This is a can of crushed tomatoes. Not a can of tuna, or sardines, or chicken broth. Crushed tomatoes. The label's kind of interesting, I guess. Crushed tomatoes are a very strange choice, Shimi, but okay. Last item in the bag is a hairbrush. Claudia's hairbrush. Quickly looking around again to make sure I'm still alone, I return my attention to the brush. This could be a problem. Claudia's never been possessive of her things because she's never had to be. But not too long ago, Pep-per took one of Claudia's scrunchies and it almost led to a fight. Something tells me that Shimi having Claudia's brush could cause the same type of altercation, which is worrisome. Claudia and Pep-per are restrained in their actions. Shimi is not. There's something about Shimi that's unbound, ungoverned. That makes her dangerous. Like that incident when Pep-per put her tail in Claudia's face. If Pep-per had tried that with Shimi, Shimi would have cut her throat. Well, I really believe that would have been an actual fight. No posturing, no threat display, just a fight. Then again, I don't think Pep-per would try something like that with Shimi. Pep-per seems to know what she can and can't get away with. Is that why she mostly avoids Shimi? Then again, I had a strange feeling that since Shimi got hit by that car, it took some of the fight out of her. Maybe forever. Poor Shimi. I put the sweater and can of crushed tomatoes back into the canvas bag and returned the bag to its spot behind the curtains. Claudia's hairbrush is placed on her chair at the dining table. Better safe than sorry. She'll find it in a little while. Note to self, next time I go to the store, buy everyone a hairbrush. Dinner is a simple affair, tasty and well received. Strangely, Pepper's in a rare mood. She's pleasant and very helpful, both setting the table and cleaning up after. Claudia even compliments Pep-per about it, which of course causes Pep-per to blush. I'm suspicious. But after all the nonsense from earlier today, I really want to encourage this good behavior. I can't help but smile and nod approvingly. Like the last employees leaving the building at the end of a workday, my brain eagerly shuts down at tiny increments. Little chunks turn off one at a time. Soon, it'll be completely shut down. I'm not even in bed yet, and already my mind starts to drift. The anticipation of glorious sleep, a familiar pleasantness, fills every part of me with a numbing, easy comfort. Sliding one foot under the covers, the blanket's embrace is inevitable. My eyes are already closing, which is why it takes more than a moment to react. When the bedroom door is yanked open, the ceiling light's brightness shatters the tranquility. Part of my brain switches back on. Not many, but enough for now. Pepper's standing in the doorway. I need to teach her how to knock, or better yet, to sleep at night. You need something, Pepper? Yeah. She hesitates, looking around the room at everything but me. I wait, still half in and half out of the covers. One foot on the floor, the other deep in the bed. Pepper checks her nails. I hear her tail thump lazily against the wall. Only her ears are still attentive to me. My sleep plans are being foiled, and Pepper is not in a hurry to tell me why. If only Goro had gotten a goldfish. Pepper. What? No, this is the part where you say what you need so I can get it for you and you can let me sleep. I close my eyes and release a few deep breaths to give Pepper time to tell me why she's here. Trying to force relaxation is having the opposite effect. The tension is slowly increasing. My foot is still waiting for the rest of me to join it under the covers, and it's starting to grow impatient. Another breath. Pepper, why are you here? She hesitates again, and finally reveals a book she had been hiding behind her back. Again, avoiding eye contact, Pepper mutters so quietly I almost don't hear her words. Pepper wants story time. Not tonight. I'm thinking how best to let her know that we can do story time tomorrow. Maybe as a group activity. Okay, how about... Clearly, Pepper mistakes my words for an affirmative, and her face lights up. That's not what I... Before I can finish the sentence, Pepper vaults into the bed. Her sudden charge causes me to leap up just as she lands. She climbs under the covers. My hope of sleep crumbles away. Grinning from ear to ear, Pepper gives me her full focus and pats the spot next to her. My spot. Let's go, let's go, let's go! Sigh. Turning the room lights off and the bedside lamps on, I get my tired butt back into bed. The rest of my body follows. My brain doesn't. I haven't had anyone in my bed since Mia. And instantly my brain is fully back on. Why the hell would I say that? I guess it's a natural passing thought, but it's not true, not really. Claudia was. Here! Pepper slaps her book to get my attention. It's not Sin Kitty. It's smaller and looks older. Compendium of Philosophical Principles by William... I can't read that last name. Scrum? What the... Compendium of Philosophical Principles. This is a university textbook. It looks antique. Quickly paging through it, it seems it consists of excerpts from teachings of famous philosophers. The Greeks, Confucius, Nietzsche, Sun Tzu. Half the names I don't even recognize. Some even sound made up. Pliny the Elder? Heraclitus of Ephesus? Discussion of the 4 main branches of philosophy: metaphysics, epistemology, axiology, and logic. What is epistemology? What the hell is axiology? Pepper, are you sure you want me to read this book? Yep, story time, let's go! Her reply leaves no doubt, but I'm completely befuddled. What in the world is Pepper doing with this book? I simply sit with my mouth open, part of my brain stunned and having no idea where to start. At least her Sin Kitty book is a story, a violent and lewd story, but a story. This book is work, brain stuff. Likely it's just a book. Pepper enjoys being read to, so what is being read probably doesn't matter? What matters more to me is that Goro gave it to her, or she took it from Goro, but regardless, Goro had this book.
Okay, so just so you're aware,
right?
In case if you're not aware, epistemology is the study of knowledge. Meanwhile, axiology, and I didn't know this actually, I had to just look this up, is the study of value. It's honestly, it's mostly done by communists trying to talk about how they're being stolen from. But, that's neither here nor there.
All right. Ironically, I'm forced to consider the philosophical implication that Goro, the king of dumb pranks and fart jokes, owned a book that collected some of the time's greatest thinkers and philosophers. Well, damn. Color me impressed. And again, Goro, you learn to expect the unexpected. Maybe you got this book for Pep-per as some deep... Hey! Sorry, Pepper's impatience snaps me out of my reverie. The beginning? Yeah, I guess that's the best place to start. I narrate to Pep-per the different presentations and thoughts of famous thinkers and the varied dogmas of philosophical camps. I recite an overview on moral philosophies, touch on philosophical analogies, metaphors, and parables. Somehow the book ties in the Gordian knot. Several knots also tightly entangled that it was impossible to see how they were fastened, and is now used as an analogy to describe a complex and unsolvable problem. To the sword of Damocles as a tie-in to Zen and being truthful to yourself. The sword hung over his head by a single horse's hair, signifying that there can be no happiness for one constantly under scrutiny. Strangely attentive, Pep-per seems happy. She watches the words in the pages, watches me as I turn the symbols into sounds for her. Periodically, her tail moves like a lazy snake beneath the covers. It's dry reading, but surprisingly easy to follow. Actually, it seems like something I might even find interesting in another context, like if I was sitting in a university and the professor was particularly engaging, or good-looking. But I'm still having a hard time connecting this book to Goro. Not in a million years have I suspected he'd own a book that requires deep thinking and reflection. Come on, Goro's in a medical field. He'd have to have his wits about him at least a little bit. It's utterly impossible to connect this book to a Neko, Pep-per in particular. It's just too... human? I'm not sure, but it's perplexing on so many levels, and yet she seems completely contented. Zen. After a while, Pep-per takes the book from me, springs off from the bed, and runs into her room. You're welcome. As I'm about to turn off the bedside lamp and finally get to sleep, Pep-per returns a Sin Kitty. One more? Sigh. It's a shame that we just lost Helicopter Man. I have to leave it to you, stand-in Helicopter Man. Oh wait, you're still running on 244p, right?
No, hold on. I can do it. It seems to be better now.
Okay.
This is Sin Kitty. Brought to you by Ornithopter Man. It feels like I've been grinding these 30 rats for experience points. You can't tell it, but I was air quoting right there. Crack. Another grand slam. I should have had that guy sign a waiver. I think I knocked him into last century. His clothes will be back in fashion when he wakes up. It also feels like a waste of time. I've had fiercer battles and faster battles sitting on the crapper. All right, rats. Time to feast on the all-you-can-eat ass-kicking buffet. This is the reason why Helicopter Man likes it. Because not only does Pep-per get all the good lines, but you get stuff like Sin Kitty, which, I mean, just, yeah. Anyways, I'm buying at this ass-kicking cat buffet, by the way. It's gotten depressingly routine. Find the rats, follow them till they're in a big enough group. Grind my way. Interesting choice of words. Mowing them down into the path of corpses, leading directly to the king. The final boss, if you will. Rat bastard. Even with that goal in mind, it feels like I'm Sin Kitty. Killing time. Oh, interesting double entendre there. Crack. I'm gonna have to go to the hospital after this. Well, someone is. Gonna break a broom handle off in somebody. No way I'm getting my food out of that. Wow, he and I made the same joke and I wasn't even that far. Without serious medical intervention, we're gonna crown Doctor who pulls it out the rightful king of England. Beats the hell out of a sword and a stone.
Damn, Kit.
I even let him get a shot in from time to time. You gotta find these things interesting if they think they have a chance. It makes them stick around longer. Makes them take more punishments. Who does that to people, you know? Dang. Oh, now you've really done it. I'm gonna stick my foot so far up, you'll have toes for teeth. Crash! One of these clowns tried to get my mask off. Not that I have to worry. None of them have what it takes. There's only one way this thing ever comes off. Come on, say it. Say it. Waypoint reached. Level up. Not a bad night's gaming. I should feel satisfied now, except... Damn it. The itch is already back.
I don't know if it's my voice or the day's exhaustion finally catching up with her, but eventually Pepper's head rolls limp against my shoulder. Her soft snore tells me that she's deep asleep. No doubt dreaming of the philosophical analogy of Alexander the Great hacking the Gordian knot in half, or some other deeply contemplated mental puzzle that was solved by a roguish Sin Kitty-style approach.
Me. Your voice is different. It was better. It was better in the animated series.
Weird, right? Philosophically, it's a very peppery way of addressing a problem. When all you have is a hammer. Her book and my phone both closed.
Interesting choice of metaphor or idiom there, considering.
Yeah. Her book and my phone, both closed, are settled alongside each other, just as Pepper is settled asleep next to me. I gently lift her, again surprised at how easily I'm able to manage the task. She's so light in my arms. Get her. Cradling her wiry frame, I deposit her delicately onto the window seat and tuck her in. Pepper mumbles something and softly snores. I'm about to leave, and Pepper starts making distressed mews. Shh, you're okay, Pepper? Shh. I gently whisper and softly rub her back, relaxing her into a peaceful slumber. A few moments later, she's still again. Sweet dreams, brat cat. I return to my own room. My mind works the puzzles handed to it tonight. I haven't had anyone in my bed since Mia. Not really. My late night with Pepper results in me sleeping in much later than I should. Just a few more minutes. Turns out to be a few more hours. When I finally manage to drag myself out of bed, it's well past breakfast time. The hall closet door is open, usually an indicator that Shimi isn't inside. Unexpectedly, Shimi is there. More unexpectedly, Claudia is in the closet with her. Shimi's half-closed eyes sparkle as Claudia slowly runs her brush through Shimi's long, dark hair. With each long stroke of the brush, Claudia intently studies Shimi's reaction. This is a lot for my sleepy brain to unpack. Tangles! Full of enough cheer for all three of us, Claudia briefly explains and returns her attention to grooming Shimi. Shimi regards me flatly. Yeah. Feeling like a third wheel, I continued on my previous path to the bathroom. Tangles? That's an understatement. Guess I was wrong about the hairbrush. Teeth brush, face wash, and much more awake, I make my way towards the kitchen. Unintentionally, I pause again, taking the scene in the closet. It's very strange and also kind of adorable. Claudia and Shimi simultaneously notice me, reviving the feeling that I'm intruding. I'm gonna make brunch if anyone's, hungry. Please? Wait. Claudia looks like she's about to rise and come with me. I interrupt. I got brunch. You stay with Shimi. Pharaohs are loners. I can't imagine anyone's ever spent time with Shimi like this. I think she deserves it. Plus, I owe Claudia after yesterday's muddy mess, and Shimi seems uncharacteristically relaxed, strangely comfortable in Claudia's company. I'm reminded that I need to make sure I tend to Shimi's wounds today. Hey, maybe you can get her to eat with us. If she stays at the table, it'll really help to get her bandages changed. Yeah, okay. Brunch aromas quickly fill the kitchen, then spill throughout the house. Claudia and Shimi. I guess Claudia sees Shimi the same way I do. Peculiar, and also an alluring oddity. I wonder what Shimi makes of us. Are we now a weird corner of her world? Things she finds useful? Isn't that how the binary mind of a feral works? Things that are useful and things to avoid. Not sure if it's that simple, but Shimi does have a use for Claudia, apparently. What about me? What about what? Pepper joins me in the kitchen. She caught me talking to myself. Eavesdropping on my conversation. Pepper searches the obviously empty kitchen in an overly dramatic manner, feigning wonder for who I may have been talking to. Her sinister grin says she's happy to play my game. I quickly change the subject before she can point out that one person is not a conversation. How'd you sleep? Meh. Pepper replies dismissively, now much more interested in my brunch preparations than my conversation with myself. She didn't sleep well? I really thought she would have after last night. This may be a good time to work on things to unboard her. Hey, Pepper, how would you like to help make brunch? Nah, Pepper chore, eat yummy treat. Then again, helping with cooking is more Claudia's thing. Like her scrunchie, it might not go over well if Pepper takes that from her. How about you set the table then? Nah. Picking up my phone at the counter, Pepper dismisses my suggestion. She's not going to make this easy. What if we make it a challenge? I take my phone and open the stopwatch app, showing it to Pepper. I'll time you and see how fast you set the table. I give her a big grin to go with my wonderful idea. Unimpressed, she takes my phone back and holds it up to me. Or, Pepper time, you set table. Okay, but then I get your chores reward. No chores reward. Make Pepper very bored. This is not how you negotiate. Maybe it is how Pepper negotiate. Frustrated with this failed attempt to enlist Pepper's help, I turn away and focus on the task of finishing brunch. After a moment of being ignored, Pepper drops my phone onto the counter. Hey, careful with that. Once food is ready, can I ask you to get the other kitties to come eat, or would that be too taxing for Princess Pepper? Pepper narrows her eyes at my taunt, then quite unregally. It's a treat, beat feet, kitty seat, time to eat, let's go! The bellowing voice of the Mad Queen booms through the house. She fiendishly smiles at me. Hairbrush in hand, Claudia joins us as we sit. Noticing Claudia emerge from Shimi's hiding place, Pepper raises an eyebrow. The sheer moment seems to consist of Pepper's silent attempt to antagonize Claudia, and Claudia wholly ignoring Pepper. Is Shimi going to join us? I think so. Personally, I think Shimi. Sashimi cat, hide away like a rat. Pepper chimes in, pouncing on the chance to rile Claudia. No! Despite my sour look, Pepper chuckles. Dismissing her, Claudia turns to me contemplatively, answering a question I didn't ask. Shimi, not person. Not yet. Not yet. Both Claudia and Pepper's attention turn in the hallway. Claudia's ears and tail perk up. Following their gaze, I see Shimi has emerged. She makes her way carefully down the hall. I find myself studying how Shimi walks, trying to see if there's something in her gait that is person, or not yet person. Can't find anything beyond an injured feral, and look away quickly when Shimi catches me staring. Shimi warily joins us. Her injuries still hamper her movements. She sits slowly, keeping her eye glued to Claudia, and her ears on me. Once Shimi's settled, Claudia slides her chair closer to the fourth member of our household and places a plate in front of her. Shimi seems like she's ready to take the plate and head back to the closet. I realize two things looking at her. One, this is the first time Shimi joined us without tricking her in some way. The fact that she's staying and not rushing off is some kind of milestone. Two, I forgot to add any antihistamines to her food. Which means I can't change her bandages. It also means that she doesn't go back to her closet to sleep after we eat. Instead, she spends the whole day following Claudia around, watching her do chores, looking out the windows with great interest, and skeptically eyeing the various things on counters, shelves, or on the walls in the rooms. Shopping for more things to stash away behind the curtains. Whatever keeps you happy, Shimi. The plan might not go off perfectly. At this, she grinned and her eyes lit up. Oh, I'm sure it won't. Perpetual surfing through social feeds and videos for a bed finds nothing to grip my interest. My thoughts drift. Falling for someone's smile changes you. Accepting someone's scars changes them. That's way too profound to have originated in my head. For some reason, the fortune cookie wisdom feels less trite than it should. Sticks with me. Quit now! Boop! Looks like I get to play referee again. Claudia closes the open refrigerator door before it can chime, and then heads to her room, leaving me to deal with Pepper. What now? Pepper wants shower time. There's no shower time in the kitchen. I hope there's no shower time in the kitchen. Pepper needs shampoo. It's shampoo, not shampoo. Also, there's no shampoo in the kitchen. Pepper is in one of her moods, not wanting to escalate this late at night. I give in to her demand for shower time without delay. As the hot shower creates a sauna-like environment in the bathroom, the absence of an energized Neko pulling all her clothes off causes me confusion. Pepper needs shampoo. What are you talking about? There are 3 different shampoo bottles in there. Oh no, I'm not going to run to the store tonight to get you shampoo. Sudsy shower soup, get him coconut shampoo. Nope, it's not going. It's too late at night to play this game. Sorry, we don't have shampoo you like. I guess you have to stay smelly tonight. Then, just as I'm about to head out to my room, I see it. The turn of emotion. A deep sadness and frustration, the kind you can't hide, sweeps over her. Riddles me with guilt. It shouldn't. I know she's overreacting. Standing here, seeing her on the verge of tears, once again, I feel like I'm the bad guy. This isn't what I want. I want to get her to behave better, but I don't want to break her spirit. It feels like a long time. We just gaze across the empty distance span between us. I give in and turn the shower back on. Pepper's expression morphs, not to joy, but to pure disappointment. A sudden fire in her eye rages at me. Then it fades. She sighs, and shakes her head as she goes into the bathroom. I step reflexively out of her way, retreating before she can take off any clothes. I blink several times. What just happened? Shower time, peppery shower rhyme. Beep, beep, boop, need coconut shampoo. Pepper's half-hearted rhymes twist my mouth into a frown. Was that fake? Was she messing with me? Frustration ready to boil in the pit of my stomach is stayed by a deeper feeling. What part of that was her acting? The sadness seemed too genuine, too real to be. The knocking fractures my focus, turning confused anger to a flash of fear. It's late for visitors. Also, the back door? Fear changes into curiosity. Unless they fell from the sky or burrowed under the fence, there's only 2 ways for someone to get into my backyard. They either squeezed through the small gap where the fence meets the house by the flowering tree, or they came from Veronica's yard to the gate that Goro installed after he broke the fence. Logically, I expect it can only be one person. Hey, Veronica. Smile at Veronica, hiding my confusion at seeing her this late at night. Claudia joins us in the kitchen. What's that? Oh, thought you said something.
All right. No, I did.
Oh, okay. Proceed.
I said, yes, the true best girl.
You and Noodle can argue about that later, but Claudia joins us in the kitchen. Veronica jumps at her appearance. Still wide-eyed, she turns back to me. Are you okay? She wouldn't be here this hour unless it was serious. Very serious. Veronica is a good person, a kind soul. The idea that something has distressed her like this bothers me on a primal level. Someone hurt her, like that asshole sometimes boyfriend of hers? Grab my phone to call the police and ask her point blank. Tell me what happened. I heard noises at my house. Strong smell of wine on Veronica lowers my alarm level. Maybe get a bit more information before we involve the police. Veronica pauses. Finally, she whispers, I think there's a ghost in my house. Oh, boy. Claudia and I share a look. Although Veronica's speech isn't slurred, she does sway slightly as she speaks about a ghost in her house. I think it's unlikely that it's ghosts. Ghosts? Oh no, you think there's more than one? I put my phone onto the counter. Veronica is dead serious, genuinely concerned at the thought that not only may her house be haunted, but that the spirit may have brought friends. Methinks the only spirit haunting her comes in a tall bottle with a cork. I bite my lip to stifle my smile. No, Veronica, I don't think...
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the inauguration of Drunk Veronica.
The Drunk Veronica is here. I don't think there are any ghosts at your house. What did the noise sound like? It was like a scratching? Scratching. Yeah, like scratch, 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 and then scratch, scratch, scratch. Satisfied that she's conveyed the seriousness of the noise, she waits for me to respond. Scratching. My mind seeks to find a less supernatural cause for Veronica's itchy ghost. Scratching. Like an animal? She considers my question. Oh, dear God, you think there are rats in my house? She grabs at me in fear. The color has drained from her cheeks and her pupils are dilated. She seized on the worst-case scenario. Rats. That's quite a leap in logic, and it isn't what I meant. Rats! Pepper, get 'em! Pepper excitedly bursts into the kitchen. Instead of taking her shower, which she pestered me about, Pepper was apparently eavesdropping. The expression on her face at the possibility she may get to hunt a rat can only be described as one of pure joy. Pepper isn't wearing a top. Oh God, Pepper isn't wearing a top. She must have been in the middle of undressing when she heard the knock on the door and came to snoop. Mortified, I scold the half-naked Neko. Pepper, you need... A light bulb seems to go off inside her head. Oh, right. She sprints back down the hall towards her room. Veronica, still panicked about ghostly rats and now shocked by topless Pepper, holds on to Claudia. She looks like she's about to faint. Wait, no, it's not what you're thinking. She normally wears clothes all the time, I swear. Pepper makes me a liar by reappearing still topless. She didn't go into her room to grab a shirt. She went to grab her hammer. Rats, get him, Pepper! With that, she's out in the back door, disappearing into the night. I sprint to the bathroom, turning off the still-running shower, and fetch a shirt for Pepper from the laundry. Claudia, take care of Veronica. I call as I rush out into the darkness, following after Pepper. This is an unexpected twist in adventures, isn't it? Although similar in overall size, the layout of Veronica's house is completely different from mine. For starters, my house is single-story, and Veronica's house has 2 floors. So when I realize that Pepper's on Veronica's roof, all the moisture recedes from my mouth and forms as beads of sweat on my forehead. She is 3 flights above me. I have no idea how she got up there, or more importantly, how I'm going to get her down. Just seeing Pepper on the roof causes a sour queasiness that twists in my guts. Panicked at her antics, my hands reach out towards Pepper as if to catch her. So if she falls 3 stories, I'm going to catch her? Catch her and then wring her neck? Hey, get off the roof! Shush! Don't shush me! Pepper hunt rats, so shush! Pepper scolds me with a loud whisper. She crouches on the angled roof, eagerly listening and on guard for rats. I have to get her down. We already have 1 injured Neko, we don't need another. Really, if she falls, she could die. I don't like heights, Pepper. Shush! Actually, shush might be a good idea. If some other neighbor hears a commotion and looks to see what's going on, it might be challenging to explain why there's a topless Neko on Veronica's roof with a hammer. Swallow the desire to make a joke about 24-hour topless cat girl carpentry services. First, get her safely off the roof. Next, get her to put her shirt on. Take a long, slow, deep breath. As quietly as I can, still being heard, I encourage Pepper to move to a safer location. Hey, Pepper, I think if there's rats, they'd be inside the house. Why don't you carefully come down and we can... Pepper turns way too quickly and traipses over to one of the windows. Finding it unlocked, she slides it open and enters Veronica's house. Neko breaking and entering beats Neko breaking her neck. Relief that she's off of the roof is quickly replaced with concern that I can no longer see what she's doing. I step inside, automatically closing the door behind me. The first thing I notice is the smell of paint, pervasive throughout Veronica's home. To my right, a half-dozen paintings and art projects in various stages of completion fill the dining room. To my left, on the kitchen counter, stands a glass and a bottle of wine. The bottle's empty, and the glass only has a couple sips left. Pepper, having already come down the stairs, steps into view. I open my mouth to chastise her, both for running around without a shirt on and for putting herself into such a dangerous situation on the roof. Scratch. 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 Instead, I stand paralyzed. An icy silence fills my veins. A sound, muffled but unmistakable, fills my ears. Not ghosts. Scratch. 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 It is a rat. A rat. And where there's one, there are many. Focused and silent, Pepper makes her way into the kitchen. I don't think I've ever been this happy to have a Neko around. It's not a ghost, but it will be. Scratch. 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 I do not like rats. No one does. They're dangerous. They're destructive. They carry diseases. I can see why Veronica ran to my house. Resisting my own urge to flee, I drop Pepper's shirt and reach for my phone. I need to call the police. My hands search empty pockets. My phone's back at home on the kitchen counter. I quickly glance around, but Veronica's phone is nowhere to be seen. It could be right in front of me. She has stuff everywhere. Scratch. 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 Hammer cocked, Pepper stalks, deftly moving in spurts and pauses. Every few steps she stops, adjusting her ears, zeroing in on the source of the noise. The noise was just pushing me very close to panic. She stops, listens, alters course, and moves again. A barely audible soft creaking of the floor under Pepper's feet causes her to freeze mid-motion. She's still for a moment, then resumes closing in on her prey. Silent and assured, Pepper's movements are precise, instinctual. The predatory glint shines brightly in her eyes, and I think she's counting her steps, calculating her approach as she closes the distance to her target. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Pepper positions herself in the middle of the kitchen and pauses, and pauses. The only movement is the small twitches of her ears as they drink in the sounds to betray her target's location. Pepper doesn't move for a very long time. An impatience joins my panic, creating a bubbling anxiety. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Still, Pepper remains motionless. I'm about to move closer to Pepper, but the expression she flashes at me clearly means I should keep still. We stay like this as she works to tease out the precise location of this thing in the cabinets. Scratch, scratch, scratch. I can't seem to find where it's coming from. To me, it seems to be in several spots at the same time. What is surprising is that Pepper also can't get an exact location. I never considered that she'd have a problem with something like this. I just figured she'd somehow know. Pepper's brow and grip on the hammer will tighten. Finally stepping forward, she climbs onto the counter. Very slowly, carefully. She reaches up and yanks open a cabinet door. There's nothing other than pans. Scratch, scratch, scratch. She does the same thing with the second and third cabinet, none of which reveal a nasty rat. Only dishes, glasses, and small appliances. Pepper climbs down and makes a very unhappy huff, relaxing her arm with the hammer. There's something with the scratching I hadn't noticed earlier. Besides seeming to be in all the cabinets at once, it also feels like it's happening in a weirdly regular interval. A pattern. As if the animal that was making it had a miraculous sense of timing. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Pepper remains silent, but her posture shows obvious agitation at her quarry eluding her. Maybe she's out of practice. She hasn't hunted since she was a kitten, after all. Scratching continues. 3 scratches, predictable pause, then 3 more scratches, just like Veronica said. Altering her tactics, Pepper steps out of the kitchen to widen her search, quickly weaving her way to the cluttered dining and living room that Veronica uses as her art studio. Pepper ignores me and continues stalking. She slowly heads part way up the stairs, reverses, and comes back down. Then she's back to the kitchen. She's not counting her steps, calculating. She's not sure how that's helping her hunt. I also moved to different spots in Veronica's house to try and judge if the scratching is louder or more detectable from different vantage points. But again, it seems to be coming from everywhere and nowhere. Scratch, scratch, scratch. I do locate Veronica's keys and cell phone. Neither of us are having any luck finding the damn rat, which continues. 3 scratches, a pause, then 3 scratches. Pepper seems taunted by it. Undeterred, she's currently moving around and placing her ear close to different spots on the walls. We meet back in the kitchen. I quietly suggest. Then we should go back home and call the police. Maybe they'll have better luck. Pepper scoffs, wholly dismissing my suggestion. I'm reminded of the stories Gore used to tell about kitten Pepper sometimes waiting an entire day to set the perfect ambush on their basement rat problem. She would bide her time, crouching in a box or atop some shelves, staying perfectly still and silent until wham! She'd suddenly swoop out of her hiding space, often catching 2 or 3 in one strike. I can tell this game has only just begun for her. I grab her shirt from the floor and hold it out to her. Pepper, still focused on her mission, ignores my gesture. I whisper, "Unless you think you can use your boobs as bait, put your damn shirt on." Boobs as bait. Oldest trick in the book. Busy. Too busy to put your tits away? Fine, but I'm done. Even if we find it, I have no way to battle a rat. I can leave the 24-hour topless catgirl exterminator service here to deal with it. Hunting will keep her occupied and out of trouble for tonight. Maybe I should get lucky. I'm sure Veronica...
Oh my.
Yeah, that sounds like something Lind would come up with. I'm sure Veronica will appreciate the peppery rat murder machine at her work. Quietly, I tell her, "You stay here and get him, Pepper. I'm going home. Your shirt's on the counter. Come back when you're done, otherwise I'll be back in the morning. Pepper responds quietly to herself. Yeah, Pepper gonna get him. Holding Veronica's keys and phone, I pause and reassure myself. She'll be fine. She's a Neko, and this is what she does. Scratch, scratch, scratch. I sprint home through the dark. No one's in the kitchen, or Claudia's room, or the dining room, or the living room. I finally find them. Oh boy. Veronica is sandwiched between Claudia and Shimi. Three of them look very cozy. They each hold a glass of milk. Claudia and Shimi's glasses are empty, having finished theirs a while ago by the look of it. On seeing me, Veronica and Claudia both smile. Shimi regards me flatly. Do you know you have 3 Nekos? I mean, she giggles. Like, of course you know, but why do you have, 3? Why, indeed. It's a long story. This one, Shimi, is she okay? She seems, sluggish. Shimi was hit by a car. She's still recovering. Wildcat! Yeah, she's a feral. Shimi looks away, annoyed at all the attention on her. Strange to see her so close to Veronica. Odd for a feral to be this fearless around a human, and a stranger at that. Maybe it's just an extension of following Claudia around. Wow, feral, that's so cool. That's, very kind of you to do something like that. Claudia nods. Veronica's reaction to my house cats, one of which is a feral, it's not typical. I feel myself blush. We couldn't just leave her out there. 3 Nekos in one house, that's a lot. Like, I only know a few people that even have a Neko. Actually, just you and your friend Goro. I've never heard of someone having more than one. As the guy with 3 Nekos, I have to agree. It is a lot. Still, Veronica gives me an approving nod. You must feel very safe. I feel very safe right now. Claudia cuddles Veronica at the compliment. Veronica's smile broadens. There's a moment of shared joy that just watching makes me smile as well. Veronica drops her smile entirely. She begins to panic as if a bucket of cold water got dumped in her lap. Oh my god, I'm in your bed! You shouldn't... Veronica's cheeks flush bright red. She attempts to roll herself out of bed, but with a Neko on either side of her and a glass of milk in her hand and a bottle of wine in her belly, Veronica can't figure out how to free herself from the covers. Shimi, wearing an expression that would best be described as morbidly curious, watches Veronica struggle with the milk and the bedding. More worried about her spilling milk all over the place, I quickly interject. I'm happy we got you into my bed. That came out wrong. I shouldn't be in your bed. I just didn't think and I was scared and it's fine, really. I mean, you were scared and now you feel safe, tucked in tight between 2 Nekos, right? Veronica grasps the milk with both hands as you both calm the bed. Yes, but are you sure? Absolutely. I'm proud of Claudia and Shimi for taking such good care of you and making you feel safe. I'd expect nothing less from my hero Nekos. Might be laying it on a bit thick, but it has the desired effect. The reality is that Pepper and I had no luck catching the thing, so I don't see Veronica going back home tonight anyway. Will Mia mind? I don't think so. We're not together anymore. Muscles in my neck tighten. Would Mia mind? Probably. I force a small smile. Veronica softens. A glimmer of understanding takes hold. She has the look that only comes from being too familiar with breakups. I'm sorry. How are you dealing with that? Good. We were just too different. It's for the best. I shrug. Veronica offers a knowing nod of her head. I guess she's off again with her on-again, off-again boyfriend. For a moment, we each reflect that, even though breakups are messy things, life goes on. Oh! My house, did you find that... Her voice becomes very quiet. Anything? We heard the scratching. Oh god, I was right! She panics as she me to momentarily stiffen. Wait, Pepper's gonna stay there tonight. She's an awesome rat hunter. We should give Pepper a chance to be a hero too, right? Shimi and Veronica relax. I leave out not calling the cops, partly because I have no way to explain the half-naked Neko. I can't be, in your bed? It's fine. There are plenty of other places for me to sleep. I feel like our conversation has jumped back in time several minutes. Before Veronica can protest, I gesture at Shimi and Claudia. Besides, it doesn't look like I'll be getting my bed back tonight anyway. I got your phone and your car keys, and you have work tomorrow, right? Yeah, I do. Well, you can shower here if you'd like. Towels are in the cabinets. I'll go over in the morning and see how Pepper made out and make sure that everything's okay before you get home. This is a lot to ask, and I hate to think I'm being a bother. Are you really sure this isn't, a problem? Veronica, you could never be a bother. I'm glad you came to me for help. Plus, look how happy you made everyone. Claudia's never had a slumber party before. Pepper is happy she gets to hunt. I think even Shimi's happy. I joke, still trying to get Veronica to relax. Shimi doesn't actually look happy. What would a happy Shimi look like? Claudia called Pep-per naughty. Does she, get in trouble a lot? I look at Claudia, who quickly avoids eye contact. Calling Pep-per naughty is like calling Mount Everest a big rock, though technically true. It doesn't quite paint an accurate picture. I don't want to admit to Veronica that I can't handle Pep-per. Maybe I also don't want to admit to myself, but denying it would put me at odds with Claudia's feelings. Pep-per is complicated. Technically true, again, that doesn't quite paint an accurate picture. Actually, I blame Claudia. I think this is all her fault. Veronica looks stunned. Claudia's horrified that I would say that. Shimi's oblivious, or ignoring us. Claudia's fault? What did Claudia do? Yes, totally Claudia's fault. They both stare at me, trying to comprehend why I'd say such a horrible thing about such a sweet kitty. See, she's such a good girl and so well behaved that I've never had any practice managing a vixen like Pep-per. Veronica giggles in relief. Claudia relaxes and smiles, despite giving me a disapproving shake of her head. I smile myself, pleased that my teasing worked as well as it did, getting me out of having to think more about the Pep-per problem. Okay, you girls behave. Let me know if you need anything. I tease again, but none of them get the joke. I leave Veronica's phone card keys on the dresser and give Claudia a smile on my way out. After brushing my teeth and grabbing a blanket and pillow from the wardrobe, I nestle myself in on the sofa. Pep-per is complicated. That was the word I chose when put on the spot. It's true, but it's also true that she's a bigger problem than I've admitted to myself. Pep-per is a big enough frustration that Claudia needed to vent about it to Veronica. Tomorrow will be different. Pep-per's chance to be a hero. Daylight streaming through the windows, and the sound of Claudia puttering about in the kitchen convinced me to get off the sofa. Yawning and stretching, I head to the bathroom and do the usual morning bathroom things. Finally ready to start my day, I greet my big golden-haired domestic. Good morning, Claudia. How was your slumber party? Claudia did a great job caring for Veronica last night, but it doesn't mean that I'm not allowed a little good-natured nettling over it. She narrows her eyes at me, but her smile erupts regardless. Fun! Like Veronica. Yeah, I like Veronica too. She already left? Quiet, no breakfast. Claudia adds a disappointed shake of her head, which sends a golden cascade of hair across her shoulders. Veronica left without me hearing her at all. I hope she wasn't too hungover. What's the expression? Beer than liquor, never sicker? Doesn't say anything about wine and then milk. I make breakfast and tea.
Oh, no.
That sounds like a terrible combination. Milk sours in your stomach.
Yeah, that would cause it to curdle. And then, yeah.
Yeah. I'll eat with Pep-per, then when I bring her back. Can you make sure Shimi eats? Claudia nods, taking their plates from the counter. It's a beautiful day. Optimism and curiosity fill me as I sip my tea and head over to Veronica's. I really hope Pep-per caught that rat. Not just for Veronica's sanity. Sure, it would be nice for Veronica to be able to put that worry behind her, but I want to see Pep-per smooth after a successful hunt. Guards described Kitten Pepper's jubilation, which would catch rats and present them to her family. To his family. It's the kind of thing that might go a long way to help her get out how cranky and troublesome she's been since coming to live with us. The teacup falls from my hand. When it hits the floor, it shatters with a pop, sending 1,000 ceramic fragments and hot tea all over my feet and across the rug. Like staring into the eyes of Medusa, seeing the state of Veronica's home has me petrified. My body awash with adrenaline at seeing the chaos can't react. The place is a mess. Most of Veronica's paintings and products have been moved, stacked at the far end of the room. A few were knocked over. A glass of wine that had little remaining had been spilled, leaving a dry, deep red stain on the counter and carpet. There's damage to a wall. The kitchen cabinets and drawers are all open. The contents are stacked in shambles around the kitchen. Silence and shadows fill the ravaged landscape that is Veronica's home. As if someone picked up the house and shook it. My immediate thought is, really big earthquake. But I already know it's not what did this. Pep-per's hunt became a fight. Where is Pep-per? I try to keep my head clear, but I'm overwhelmed. Too many thoughts rushing at me. Was Pep-per outnumbered by several of them? Was it a Goliath rat? No, they'd be too big to fit inside a wall. Unless it was in the crawl space under the house. Is that why we couldn't figure out where it was? The wine-stained carpet twists in my mind, becoming a vision of spilled blood. I force myself to breathe. I see Pep-per's abandoned hammer from the kitchen counter, raising it defensively in front of me. In a fight, she'd be much better with this than me, but I'm feeling naked, nervous, and it's better than nothing. I had to find Pepper. Ready to sprint out of here, I softly call out, Pepper? There's no reply. The hammer out in front of me, and my ears filled with the sound of my racing heart. I stepped timidly around the first floor. The living room is mostly unmolested. The mess seems focused around the kitchen and dining room. Pepper! The foyer also appears untouched. I cautiously call up the stairs. Pepper? Still no reply. Second floor. I have to go up there. I don't want to, but I have to. Place my foot tentatively on the first step. Noise! Stop it! Suddenly, Pepper pops out from a small room around the corner from the kitchen, the laundry room. Relaxing my death grip on the hammer, it falls from my hand into a large pile of laundry. I release a huge breath. Pepper's hair and clothes are disheveled and she looks tired, but she doesn't look injured, thank God. I grab her and hug her, lifting her up off the ground, spinning her around. The worry that tied my insides and knots falls away as I hold her tightly. I'm so happy to see you. Pepper doesn't seem to know how to react to my physical affection, as though it was the last thing she ever expected. Her body goes rigid and she blushes hard as her feet dangle in the air. Are you okay? My voice comes out much louder than I intended. She straightens her skirt, somewhat annoyed at the question. Still blushing, she looks at her toes and at anything that isn't me. Pepper, fine. Noise stopped. What? What happened? What was it? Was it rats? One of the big ones? Where is it? Let me see it. My questions fly at her. Pepper thinks for a moment, then dismisses all of them with a single shrug. Dunno. You don't know. What the hell do you mean you don't know? Pepper shrugs again. Unable to understand her behavior, I scan Veronica's home. The mess and clutter offer no answers. Pepper's looking at me strangely. I try again. I don't understand. You don't know what was making the scratching noise. My question snaps her from her deep thoughts, but she doesn't answer. Instead, she leads me to the kitchen. All the cabinets are empty. Every dish, cup, glass, small appliance lies haphazardly arrayed around the kitchen floor in a messy stack. I turn back to her to ask again, but she's looking strangely at me and averts her gaze when our eyes meet. She's still pointing towards the lower kitchen cabinets. I have to step carefully over the random piles of kitchenware to get to the spot where she indicated I'd find my answer. There's a circular hole in the baseboard. Tin-plated metal indicates an air vent that runs straight under the cabinets. The grill that would normally be attached to the wall to cover the hole is nearby. It's been ripped from its place under the cabinet, leaving damage to the kick plate. Is this how they got in? I muse, still confused that Pepper has no furry trophy to show off to me, no carcasses of a rat of any size whatsoever on display. My mind clears some. It's unlikely that a rat got in this way. The hole's too small, barely larger than my fist. Possibly a mouse. The rats hadn't eaten all of them. That scratching was not from any mouse. Besides, the other end of the tunnel would be attached to a central air system. Crouching low and peering down the narrow air shaft, my eyes catch sight of something far down in the ductwork. Can't make out exactly what it is in the darkness of the tunnel, but it's definitely not a rat. If I reach my arm all the way into the narrow shaft, I might be able to grab whatever's down there. I look to Pepper to get more information to try and make sense of what happened here, and Pepper's still looking at me in that weird contemplative way, which only makes the situation more strange. I'm starting to think there hasn't been any kind of fight, at least not with a rat. The metal conduit is cold. I can barely fit my arm into it. Don't a lot of horror movies happen like this? Shut up, brain. Reaching all the way into it, I can just get my fingers around whatever's down there. Stuck. She's right. Hard cylinder, definitely stuck. I can wiggle it back and forth, but there's no leverage available to pull it out. My feet kick a stack of plates as I fully stretch my grasp, clutching as tight as I can on the end of the cylinder. I wiggle, twist, and yank with all my might. Whatever it's jammed into finally releases, and I'm able to slide it out. A broom handle, a long knife taped to the end. I wonder who this belongs to. Spear, good tool. And you have no idea how it got jammed in there or what was making the sound. Maybe Pepper have some idea? Damn it, Pepper! Look! Pepper grabs my wrist and pulls me around the corner into the small room where she appeared from earlier. We're in Veronica's laundry room, located on the other side of the kitchen wall. This room is also in shambles. Once folded laundry towels and bedding have been dumped onto the floor. At the back of the laundry room is a utility closet with the house central air unit. This unit's side access panel is open. The fan. Oh no. Scratch, scratch, scratch. As if on cue, a grinding screech emanates from the air vent and reverberates through the cabinets. Pepper went through the house hunting the rat, finally isolating the scratching sound of the vent under the kitchen cabinets. Crafting an impromptu spear, she jammed it down the vent. It blocked the fan, stopping the sound. Oh, no. Veronica was right from the start. There was never any rat, just a harmless ghost. The fan in the central air unit was periodically rubbing against something in there. I tried to assess the damage to the unit. Strips of rubber in the guts of the central air unit's filter spill out from places they were never meant to, the result of being repeatedly stabbed by Pepper's spear. You eviscerated the poor machine. Pepper, you murdered Veronica's central air. Oopsie poopsie? This is not oopsie oopsie. Pepper looks at her feet and mumbles. Not really Pepper's fault. Flipping the unit's power switch to off, I stepped back out into the kitchen. Well, I did tell her to get it, and Pepper got it. There's no denying that. She got the hell out of it. I should feel angry. It should be the natural result of Pepper messing up Veronica's home and her expensive air system. I should be enraged by the damage Pepper has done. But instead I only feel stupid. I want to kick myself. I should have known better. She's just a dumb Neko. No, she's not dumb.
This is kind of the opposite, lesson that we learn in Claudia's. I'm kind of feeling sad already. I kind of suspect where this is headed.
Yeah, no, she's not dumb. She's pig-headed and stubborn. There's a difference. Just a few days.
Let's say,
yeah.
Stubbornness is not being stupid.
Yeah.
Although I can understand the confusion.
Right. There's some superficial similarities, to say the least. Just a few days ago, Pepper was practically barking at the moon, screaming at the top of her lungs at a thunderstorm. She doesn't back down from a challenge. Any challenge. The scratching sound is a challenge, and I told her to get it, and then left her alone with it. Yep. It's a recipe for disaster. Simple math. Take one unsupervised and tenacious Pepper, the rat murder machine, that one mysterious squeaky sound mix all night long. The sum is Pepper going Sin Kitty on this Gordian knot. I think I should be mad, but instead I feel numb, lightheaded, like something big was squeezing my chest, lifting me off the floor. All the blood seems to rush from my head, torso, pooling in my feet. Dumbstruck, I think is the expression. Gobsmacked, I wandered through the maze of mess Pepper created in Veronica's house. Goro busted her fence, now his Neko's trashed her home. Oopsie, oopsie poopsie. I mumble and press my hand to my mouth, attempting to hold in a burst of laughter. Comes out anyway through clenched teeth, guttural, broken, maniacal sounding. My insides retie themselves into tense knots. I had to force my brain to work and keep physically moving through this haze to dispel the building anxiety. Nope, not working. Weak in the knees, I collapse on Veronica's sofa to keep from falling over. From the far end of the room, Pepper holds her spear, worriedly watching me hyperventilate. Get a grip. I can't go backwards in time. The only way to salvage this disaster is to move forward. I do have the whole day to try and get Veronica's house cleaned up, so calm down and think. Pepper, please tell me that you didn't go upstairs. No, Pepper, no need go upstairs. Noise downstairs. Okay, that's good. No need to worry about cleaning upstairs too. Just the downstairs. That's only half a disaster. With a renewed sense of purpose, I force myself up onto wobbly knees. A quick circuit of Veronica's first floor gives us an idea of the tasks ahead of us. We'll need to straighten up Veronica's paintings and art in the living room, put all the dishes and glasses back into the cabinets, clean the wine stain off the carpet, fold all the clothes, blankets, and bedding in the laundry room. All those are time-consuming, but easily doable. It's the last two things which have me the most concerned that I may be able to do nothing about. Fix the central air unit, and fix the fist-sized hole in the wall. As I'm mentally organizing the work ahead of us, Pepper lets out a huge yawn and looks like she's about to lie down on the floor for a nap. No, no, no! We have to clean this place up before Veronica gets home. Pepper wants sleepy time. Hungry too. Seriously, Pepper, I'll feed you later, I promise. And you can sleep later too, just not yet. Do a good job and there'll even be a reward in it for you. Trying not to sound desperate, I found myself sweetening the deal. The mention of reward, Pepper again dons that strange expression. It's like she's worriedly organizing her thoughts. rewarding her for cleaning up the mess she made is counterintuitive, but again, I feel like a lot of this is my fault. I'm a human, and I should have known better. Put all the dishes, glasses, and appliances back into the cabinets while I look for some white vinegar to get the wine stain out of the carpet. Make sure you put them back exactly how you found them. Time is tick. My heart stops at the sound of the back door opening. Veronica came home early. Seeing that's Claudia and not Veronica relaxes me enough for my toes to uncurl. Besides, dummy, Veronica would come into the front door. Paying no attention to the very noticeable mess around her, Claudia rushes inside, her expression serious enough to garner my full attention. Before I can ask why she's come over, Pepper barks out at both of us. Claudia, help clean! Shimi, sick. You mean her injuries are bothering her? No, sick, serious. Not injured, sick. I do not have time for this. There's simply no other option. I can't say no to Claudia. Okay, come on, let's go see. Claudia and I turn to leave and Pepper tries to follow. What? No, Pepper, you keep cleaning. I'll be right back. No, Pepper tired. Clean after. Pepper, this place isn't going to clean itself. You have to take care of the plates and glasses. Chores reward, remember? Pepper's expression changes in an instant. Her eyes narrow. Maybe 2 chores reward? It's grinding sound as my own back teeth pressing hard together as I consider rewarding Pepper twice for this mess. There's no time for this. I suspect that Pepper knows that. Fine, sure, why not? 2 chores reward. Now get to it. I want to see a lot of progress and quality work when I get back. Pepper smirks wryly and returns to the kitchen. Claudia and I head purposefully home. Shimi's breakfast sits untouched on the counter. Unexpectedly, Shimi isn't in the closet. She's tucked in on Claudia's couch. Instead of regarding me suspiciously, Shimi simply turns her head away as I get close. She did the same thing last night when we were all paying too much attention to her. Now she seems completely exhausted. Veronica was right. There's a fatigue about Shimi, peculiar sluggishness. Shimi doesn't react when Claudia pulls back the blanket, showing me her bandaged tail. Serious, sick. Claudia's certainty is absolute. Shimi being sick, this is a big problem. How are you doing, Shimi? Unceremoniously, she turns away again. Don't worry, girl. You'll be okay. The atmosphere of the room feels strange. Almost like when you notice the distant presence of ozone from an approaching storm, but different. I can't really tell what it is. Like a fleeting thought, it slips away as I try to pinpoint it. Help! This is exactly what we're going to do. Claudia follows me into the kitchen. I quickly heat up broth in a saucepan. Take a deep breath, help Shimi, get back to Veronica. I'm almost out of antihistamines. I remind myself to pick up more as I drop a pill into the broth and hand the bowl to Claudia. Clearly grateful that I trusted her and took her concerns seriously, Claudia takes the bowl from me. Try to get her to drink all of this. I think we have some old antibiotics in the bathroom. I'll go have a look. Claudia is obviously still worried, but she smiles at me and carries the bowl to Shimi. Actually, the antibiotics are Mia's. In a drawer are several bottles of old medicines bearing her name and their prescription labels. I don't understand why some people go to the doctor, get antibiotics, and only take some of them until they feel better and never finish the course of treatment. So with these shuffling through the old bottles, there's a problem. Which of these are good for an infection, and are they safe to give to OmOneko? Reflexively, I pull out my phone to call Goro. Damn, that habit is not going to die easily. I'm tempted to ask Pepper if Goro ever gave her antibiotics, but as if she'd ever have any clue what I'm talking about. Then, the listing under Mom catches my eye. Sawbones. Takes a minute to remember why I have someone named Sawbones in my contacts. All right! Goro's sketchy, I know a guy that knows a guy medical dude. I'd completely forgotten that Goro gave me this. Having nothing to lose and no one else to ask, I shoot a quick, "Hi, you don't know me, but is it okay to give this antibiotic to OmOneko?" text to Sawbones. Claudia is feeding the broth to Shimi. In a low voice, I tell her, "Keep doing what you're doing. I'm waiting to hear if I can give one of these medicines to Shimi." Leaving. Claudia tugs on her braids when I start to head back to Veronica's. Her expression makes me really wish I didn't have to. It's clear that she's feeling helpless.
You know, this is going to be... Dang. Dang.
I promise I'll be back the minute I hear something. I rush back to Pepper.
Professor, I don't know if you have ever used them before.
What's that?
There's like real MDs, like basically services you can just like get like nurses or do like Zoom meetings with doctors
Right.
for things. So basically, the sense I'm getting from this is that it's like Jimmy's route. Sawbones is like basically his house MD. Claudia route, Sawbones is the pharmacist.
Right.
Pepper's route, he's just gonna Zoom call you, and that's it.
Maybe. That is entirely possible. Pepper's lack of progress getting the kitchen put back together has me steaming. I know she's tired and not used to being productive, especially on this scale, but the delay due to Shimi being sick has already put us behind schedule. Let's go, Pepper. We have lots of work to do. Pepper doing it. Even the 2 chores reward. Pepper better be doing it. Checking the clock on my phone gives me a bit of reassurance. Still have plenty of time before Veronica gets home. Before I can get my phone back in my pocket, it rings. This guy had texted. Didn't expect him to call, but okay. Hi, hey, thanks for... How did you get this number? A sharp tone cuts accusingly through my greeting. My friend gave it to me. I don't think you know him, but he knows a girl that had a cousin. Wait, or was it his cousin who knew a girl? I can't remember what Goro told me. The worry that this Sawbones may hang up on me before I get an answer on the antibiotics since you speak quickly, stammering my words. Anyway, my friend, I have this Neko. He thought you'd be able to help with. Someone's father's brother's nephew's cousin's former roommate told you to call me for help with your Neko. Nice Spaceballs joke there. Yeah, well, basically, yeah. I sound like an idiot, which irritates me. Not much of a fan for being interrogated, but I need this guy's help. He had your number. He gave it to me. I have a Neko that got injured, and I think her tail may be getting infected. Okay? You want to know if you can give people medicine to a Neko. Right. I have some old antibiotics. First of all, you're not supposed to have some old antibiotics. You're meant to take the full course, not take a few, feel better, and stop taking them. I stifle my sigh of frustration, quietly allowing Sawbones to chastise and lecture me about things I didn't do and already know. So you end up with resistant bugs like turbochlamydia. So when you're prescribed antibiotics, take all of them, unless you want turbochlamydia. Second, no, do not give people medicine to a Neko. If you have a Neko, you should already know their bodies process some chemicals differently. I know this. Right now, Claudia is feeding Shimi a bowl of broth like antihistamine so she'll be mellow or asleep, and I'll be able to change her bandages. Yes, I figured. That's all I have. I didn't know. What's that?
Well, I was just going to say that's absolutely true.
Yep.
And it's the reason why even dogs, even large dogs, you shouldn't give them grapes, you shouldn't give them onions, you shouldn't give them chocolate.
Nope.
Why? Because even though they are extremely similar to humans in physiology and in our body compositions, they still have a much smaller capacity to process the chemicals in those than humans do. So things that we find enjoyable, they will find toxic, they'll get sick, and they'll have reactions to and die.
Yep.
So
what makes you think your Neko has an infection? Was that?
That's your Ditaku trivia. I was just saying that's your Ditaku trivia for the day.
No, of course. That is sound advice.
Don't feed your dogs grapes or onions or basically, look things up before. Seriously, it's actually kind of comprehensive. So yeah. Sorry, that's all.
No, you're good. You're here to help co-commentate with me. I tell Sawbones about Shimi's injuries, her tail and her new sluggishness, but I leave out the part with Claudia. This guy must already think I'm a lunatic. I don't need to confirm it by admitting I have not just one, but several Nekos running around my house. He asks a lot of questions about her recent behavior and the skin around the injuries. I'm going to have to go and look to be able to answer him properly. Pepper, keep cleaning. I'll be right back. Claudia stands as I rush in, happy to see me back. It looks like she was able to get Shimi to drink most of the broth. The feral seems well sedated. Unwrapping Shimi's from the blanket, I put Sawbones on speaker and give the phone to Claudia to hold. He asks about how much she weighs. I have no idea. I make something up and find myself whispering the answers. Red eyes? Aye, and no. What? No redness. Shivering. Claudia shakes her head no. Not that I've seen. Loss of appetite. Despite the mostly empty bowl of broth, Claudia nods yes. That's right, she didn't have dinner last night, just a glass of milk. He also asks if she's been coughing, vomiting, other details about the wound, and then an oddly specific question about how warm her ears feel while she's at rest. I'm hesitant to touch Shimi's ears. It's weird. I didn't have this fear earlier. Fortunately, Claudia answers for me, nodding a very solid yes. Hot now. Yeah, actually they're pretty warm and she hasn't moved around much today. Based on our brief chat, Sobbins tells me if it's early in the infection, he can get me what she needs. It's going to be expensive, but I should be able to afford it without much issue. Need cash, no personal checks, and you can't pay me in stuff. Dude sounds like a drug dealer. Well, I guess in a way he is. Besides, as sketchy as he sounds, he obviously knows a lot about treating a sick Neko way more than I do. Having someone that knows his stuff helps me more than anything.
Can't pay him in stuff, huh? Interesting. Interesting. That wasn't what you said in Shimi's rap there, sir.
I was just thinking that. It's like, you took the watch just fine. Have the money. Drop them off tonight. You don't want to wait with an infection. I'll also take a quick look to make sure there's no underlying issues. The idea of having this guy in my house is troubling, but looking at Shimi and Claudia, I know it's necessary. Besides, how else will he get the medicine here?
But I mean, you did it before. I mean, what's the third time after all?
Shh, he doesn't know that. Someone takes my address, tells me he'll be over sometime early this evening. Hangs up. I check the time again. Don't worry, Claudia. The doctor said he's coming tonight with some medicine. Claudia wants my words to reassure her, but I can tell by the way she looks at Shimi that it's going to take more than just words. She also clearly doesn't want me to leave again. Damn it, Pep-per, why did you have to trash Veronica's house? Hey, when I get back, let's change our bandages together, okay? Yeah. Back at Veronica's, Ever still hasn't finished with the kitchen. I know she's dragging this out on purpose, working just barely enough so that I can't get mad and take away the chores rewards, but not hard enough that we'll get done anytime soon. Pep-per, we need to talk. Do you understand that we have a lot of work to do before Veronica gets home? Pep-per puts down the single plate she's holding and looks around the messy house and back at me. Yeah? Good. Do you also understand that at the rate we're going, we're not going to make it? She starts to reply, but I keep going. You're not being as helpful as I need you to be. I've already promised you 2 chores rewards. What do I need to do to get you to take this seriously and really work hard? Pep-per warily looks away. Suddenly shy? Again, it seems like she's trying to formulate a thought. I just don't have time to wait for her to get it out. What? What do you want? Pep-per fixes me in her stare, takes a deep breath and crosses the room. I can hear her counting, calculating under her breath as she closes the distance. Her expression is intensely serious. 3, 2, 1. Pep-per want. Her voice trails off. I want to hurry this up, but her manner is so unusual, so un-Pep-per, that I wait for her to finish her thought. Pep-per trade 3 chores reward if Pep-per get 1 special reward. I don't know what the hell a special reward is, nor do I remember agreeing to 3 chores rewards.
Oh, no.
I don't have time to figure it out, negotiate or play any more Pep-per-flavored games. She holds my gaze, awaiting a reply, ready at this point to agree to anything I lay it out for her. Pep-per, if you work very hard and help me fix Veronica's house, I will give you a special reward. But
Oh my.
if you screw around and do a lousy job, you'll get no special reward and no chores rewards. We get the house fixed or forget it. Deal? Pep-per gives me a hard look. Promise. She promising me or asking me to promise her? Who cares? This won't get done if she doesn't help. Yes, fine, good. Now let's do this. Deal. The only thing worse...
You know what you just agreed to, right?
I mean, with Pep-per, I'm not sure there's a way of knowing ahead of time. We pretty much gave her a blank check.
No, judging from what she just said and the our past with the last 2, think about where we are in the overall trajectory of the story thus far.
Right before Sawbones shows up.
Yes. Think about what she's asking. She's asking for something good. I'm saying this is going to be Hey Chicka Bum Bum.
Possibly. But we'll see.
Just saying that's where this is going to end. I would bet you money. This is the Ditaku intuition speaking.
All right.
Hey man. Was I not the one predicted as soon as I saw him that Vero was going to join the crew and Tengatopa Gurrenlagann.
I mean, that's true. That was you.
So
So
I'm just saying, has the Itaku intuition ever, gone astray?
I mean, you're probably right, but again, Pepper is such a wild card, and we literally just handed her a blank check, basically. So we'll see where this goes.
I'm just saying, I would bet money that's where that's going.
The only thing worse than having to clean is having to clean a mess you didn't make. Regardless, I get to it and start making visible progress. Despite being tired, Pepper works hard. I didn't actually think she was capable of being this productive. Apparently she follows the philosophy, don't let them know you're good at work or they'll expect it. I'll be resentful at how lazy she's been at home if I weren't so grateful at how much headway we're making now. She gets the kitchen squared away. I get the wine and tea stains out of the carpet and collect the tiny pieces of my dropped cup. I'm able to unbend and replace the vent cover under the kitchen cabinet. It sits firmly in the recess. The screws were a redundancy, or maybe cosmetic. I'm confident it will stay on without them. Together we move on to the laundry room where I set to work on the central air unit. The spot's also advantageous for supervising Pepper and making sure she doesn't slack off picking up the laundry that's strewn about everywhere. Again, she works hard and she does a respectable job. Maybe she sees a challenge in working against time or something. Still, all I can think is, who are you and what have you done with Pepper? I'm able to remove the wrecked filter from the inside of the central air unit. It comes out in chunks and strips and goes into the trash can. The fan itself is made of thin metal, allowing me to bend the fan blades by hand with only a moderate amount of force. Once I'm confident they'll no longer rub on anything, I take a deep breath and switch it back on. The fan whirs, no squeaks or scratches. A soft hum, just like the manufacturer intended. Tucked behind the system are new filters. One goes in, and I close up the air unit. Then I help Pepper get the rest of the room straightened up. It's late afternoon when we get the last tasks. Pepper puts Veronica's painting and art projects back where they were, and I move the deal with the fist-sized hole in the wall. Working for her dad doing remodeling and industrial painting, I'm sure Veronica has all the necessary items around here to fix this. Wall paste, one of those wide putty knives to spread and smooth the paint, and whatever else is used. But as I'm looking at the hole in the wall, the cold realization hits me. I've never repaired one or used any of the things needed to do the job. That's as far as we get. Veronica's car pulls up. The sound causes a shudder. She's home early. I thought we'd have more time. My spirit empties like a deflating balloon. All the work we did, all the time we spent, this whole day, and we're still not done. Out of time. We almost made it. I have a feeling Veronica will never want to speak to me again. Once I tell her there was never any rat and that Pepper wrecked her house, she'll throw us out and that'll be that. I can't imagine her seeing this as anything other than a violation of her privacy. I deserve it. It's my fault for leaving Pepper unsupervised. Pepper sees my defeated expression and scowls. Her eyes narrow and she quickly looks around. As Veronica's keys slides into the lock, Pepper grabs one of Veronica's painting and puts it on the nearby easel, hiding the hole. Fix later. Pepper, there isn't going to be a later. Veronica steps in from the foyer, surprised to see us. At the same time, Pepper's manner and expression morphs back to her regular smug self. Before Veronica can speak, Pepper leaps over to her and grabs both of Veronica's hands with her own. Happy day, Pepper chase nasty rat away. Pepper OmOneko. She spins around, bringing Veronica with her in a merry little dance. At the mention of rat, Veronica completely forgets I'm in the room, giving all her attention to Pepper. There really was a rat? I thought I was going crazy. Yep, you lucky Pepper intervention. Big rat, nasty teeth, claws, naughty intentions. Naughty intentions? Seriously? Pepper stops spinning Veronica. Come tomorrow, Pepper say. Make sure rat stay away. It might come back? Maybe. Then, yes, please. Pepper makes a face at me behind Veronica's back. What's happening? I stand stupefied, watching as
She's
Pepper...
buying you time. She's actually, as we said, she's not stupid.
Nope. She's bullheaded, but she's not dumb. I stand stupefied, watching as Pepper casually deceives Veronica, manipulating her by saying exactly what Veronica does and doesn't want to hear. This is another game for Pepper. The way she's doing it, well, if I didn't know that it was all bullshit, I'd also be falling for it. The uncomfortable quiet makes me realize Veronica has asked me a question. Lost in thoughts about Pepper's performance, I completely missed what was just said to me. I mean, if, that's okay, please say yes. Sure. I have no idea what I disagreed to. Veronica looks relieved. Yep, Pepper come tomorrow, sneak attack. Pepper catch rat, if naughty rat, a tat come back. Apparently, sensing my confusion, Pepper fills in the blanks for me. Maybe she can stay tonight? Not tonight. Guarantee Rat not come back tonight. But tomorrow. Whoa. Yes, tomorrow. I'd be very grateful if you can check tomorrow. Maybe I can get you, like, a nice present as a reward. Overwhelmed with relief and gratitude, Veronica turns to me and insists, You can hold on to my key. I took the spare one from my dad. Thank you so much for this. You have no idea how much I appreciate what you and Pepper are doing for me. As Pepper continues making faces at me behind Veronica's back, a new guilt wells up in me. I don't like that we're tricking Veronica, yet I hear myself going along with it. Sure thing, we're happy to help. I feel myself smiling, physical lie to back up a verbal one. Still, I owe you so much for this, Pepper, both of you. I can't thank you enough. It's not a problem. So, I better get Pepper home now. Got a lot of Nekos to feed. Pepper grabs her hammer, and I quickly usher her outside. Okay, you bought us a day. Still have no idea how to fix a wall. And I really don't like that we deceive Veronica. She's a really good person. Thanks to Pepper, I'm not complicit in the lie. Right now, though, I do have to feed my Nekos and get ready for Sawbones. Though lost in thought, I catch Pepper again, looking at me out of the corner of my eye. She measures me with what strange, skeptical look she wore earlier. Pepper, awesome Neko, she says just under her breath, but this time it sounds like she's trying to convince herself. And that's where we're going to call it for today. This episode's actually run a little longer than I expected. I just kind of realized it's getting a little late. And we will pick up with the arrival of Sawbones for the third time, actually. But thank you, Ditaku, for coming along and summoning Ornithopter Man in Helicopter Man's absence.
You're welcome. Ornithopter Man is happy to oblige.
Of course.
I know that he is not nearly as well appraised or well known as Helicopter Man. But, as Helicopter Man posited before, ornithopters are in fact also helicopters of a fashion.
That's fair. That's very fair. All right. This has been Ditaku and the Hipster Snek, and for one leg of this journey, a noodle as well. Join us here next time as we continue with OmOneko and more, and we'll see you there.
Ciao.